All right, part two, you guys. So part two, we coming back. Um, where we left off, we were talking about TSR, CROA. We were talking about giving the money back and what it means to be compliant actually as a credit
Uh-huh.
company. And basically, it's borderline impossible to be fully
Yeah.
compliant.
To be
Now,
100% compliant is just borderline impossible, man. I think the best like method is really like if you have a client who's not happy with your services, just give them the money back, man. 9 out of 10 times, bro, that's just the best solution.
right, right. And unfortunately, that's how it is. Um,
Uh-huh.
I've had only one recently client who was I did not give their money back. The reason why is because they did one round of disputes, and then he claimed that he was working for me for over a year now. And I was like, "What?" I was like, "What the hell? Did you slip on the?" Like for a second, I was freaking out because I was
Yeah.
like, we only sent one round of letters for him. Like I was almost freaking out. Did we forget about this guy for an entire year? Like holy shit! I was about to send your money back right away. But then I was like, wait, hold up. And he's actually you know what? I'm not gonna give any information out, but because you can deduce who this person was, so I'm not gonna say anything. But
Uh-huh.
basically, yeah, he was like, "Hey, obviously your service doesn't work, because I haven't seen results and
Damn, for
I've been
what?
working with you for a year." And then I was like, "Wait, hold up, he sounds familiar." And I looked it up. I looked at the onboarding form when he submitted the onboarding form. It was a month before then when he
Ugh.
started complaining. And then he messaged me on Instagram. He's like, "Hey, I've been working for you for over a year. I've not seen results. Um, and also your team does not communicate with me. There's a lack of communication." I was like, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry. That is not acceptable. Um, give me your full name, email." Right, right, and then when I looked, I was like, "Hold up," and I did a little bit of, like, 30 minutes of digging, and I was like, "What the hell? This is not matching," and I went through our Ring Central, like, where we have our customer support line and everything,
Uh-huh.
and I was like, "I'm not seeing it." I literally went day by day, time by time. There was never a time where we went over, like, 48 hours without responding to him. The only time we were close to the 48-hour mark is because it was during the weekend.
Mm.
And he said that, "Oh, every single time that we communicate is when I have to reach out to your team. They never reach out to me." And I was like, "Okay, let me write that down." So I took screenshots of everything he sent me because I was very concerning. I sent it to my team. I was like, "What the hell is going on here, you guys?" And it was like, "Oh, we're closer to the end of the night." So I started doing a little bit due diligence myself and didn't find it. And then what I did is I put my one of my directors. I told her, "Hey, can you do a little bit of investigation? I want you to do a full conversation audit with this client right here. This is what he's claiming.
Mhm.
I'm finding discrepancies, but I want a fresh pair of eyes. Can you take a look at it?" Cool. Like
Yeah.
3 days later, she gives me an entire full audit of like screenshots of all the every email, phone number, like an entire timeline of when they
Uh-huh.
got onboarded, when they had the onboarding call, when every single time we've reached out, or every single time we've had a conversation with that client. Who was the one person who initiated it? How long did it take us to respond? Did we answer all the questions? Did we give him an update on all the information? Did we get him results for his disputes? And what happened, right? Everything, full documentation. He completely lied off everything. We did not start over a year ago. Like we started like a month ago. Every single time that we communicate is because actually we're the one who started the communication with him. And yeah,
Yeah.
and then the only time he initiated it was the very last day, one day before, or the day he reached out to me through Instagram, was like, "What the hell is going on with my account?" Yeah, that was his form of communication. And so that's why I was like, "Look, dude, if you want to cancel the service, but I'm not gonna refund you for wasting my time." Like
100% no.
dude, I give you an entire like you're giving me 1 month to help you fix your credit, and you're now claiming that it doesn't work. I'm sorry, but I'm not. But yeah,
Nah.
you know what? Even for compliances purposes, yeah, I understand. Like, okay, to be safe, you want to do that, but it's
Mhm.
just again, like you said, it's
Yes,
it's
bro.
no matter what you do, you're in the gray area.
Yeah, no matter what you do, you're in the gray area. That's the facts, man. But
Right.
yeah, that guy's nuts, bro. Fucking 1 year? I mean, 1 month?
Yeah.
Bro, the
Yeah.
bureaus wouldn't even reply sometimes in 1 month, man.
So that's what I'm like saying. I was like, is this guy like? And then that's why I was trying to call him, and I got on the phone to him, talked to him for an hour. I was like, you understand, like this takes a process. Like, I'm so sorry, whoever onboarded you, or like whoever, because I was having people. This is what I was having to do. I was kind of doing like a small like credit in a box situation where, let's
Mhm,
say, Edgar, let's say you're a credit guy, but you don't want to start a whole credit repair company. You do something else in credit, but you don't do credit repair.
mhm,
You can go ahead and just say like, hey, I have a credit repair company. We, pay right here. I give you access to my contracts. I give you access to my payment software. You I don't want to talk to him. I don't want to do any of the sales. If you do any of the sales, I'll give you this percentage, right?
okay,
So I had a guy that I still have the guy who does that for me. I have a guy who sends me quite a few clients, and this was one of those clients. And so when he told me that, he's like, "This is not what we agreed upon." I was like, "Actually, that's crazy because tell me what he told you,
mhm,
because I gotta make sure that he's legally telling you everything that we're supposed to be saying.
yeah,
Because if he's telling you, "Oh, in 30 days, you're gonna guarantee to get this deleted off your credit report," then I need to know that because that is illegal, and I need to make sure that he understands that, and he will
yeah,
never ever say that again. That's actually very concerning, but I don't
mhm,
think he wanted to throw him under the bus. So that's why he's like, at the end of the day, he's like, "That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about," like, I'm like, "Bro, like, dude, I'm trying to help you out here, man." And so, yeah, he was just not having it. He just wanted his money back. And he just didn't want to pay for the service, basically. And it was super funny because I there's a history. The reason why he says that he wanted to work for me for over a year is because he has been wanting to work for me. He's been one of those clients that like want to work with me,
in his
but
head, you
never
were working
never
for
wants
me.
to shell out the money to buy it, you know?
What a
But
clown. What a
I had a
clown.
one that person, since they're family members, they gave them the money to pay for credit repair for over a year ago, decided to spend it on stupid shit instead of paying it for credit repair. So that's why I know. So like this is what I was like. I don't want to say too much because it's someone in the industry that we know, and I just don't want to burn people out. And so
What a clown.
yeah, so it's dumb, but whatever. And then all of a sudden when I and then when I told them like, okay, cool, you want to cancel the service, that's fine, that is your call, but like I'm not giving your money back because you absolutely just wasted my time. Like
Mhm.
you wasted my team's time. We did all this work for you, and then now I'm getting, fuck it. If you want
That's
to
why
cancel,
that's why I in the contract, I make sure that huh?
yeah, no, no, yeah, but I
No,
meant
that's
the
why in the
contract too.
contract I put that I yeah, but I've always put that I bill in arrears, meaning like I do the work and then I charge. So it's like if you want that refund, it's like refund for what? For the work that I already did, that I have proof of that I did. You're not getting a refund for that. Like you
Right.
could cancel the service now and I won't do the next month of work,
Yeah.
but you're not getting a refund for work I already did, man.
Right. Especially like your method, like if you're not charging anything up front, then fuck that.
Mhm.
Like what a refund, man. Yeah. So
Yeah, that's my thing, man.
so so yeah,
Yo, honestly, wait, what happened?
I said I was gonna say that guy. Then all of a sudden when I can't, like he said, okay, cool, I'm cool, cancel. That's fine, totally fine with me. And then that's why I was telling him like the reason why we don't offer um guarantees or refunds is because when I issue a refund, it's almost like admitting that I offered you a guarantee if you didn't see results.
Mhm.
And for second of all, you didn't complete the fucking service, bro. Like, like you didn't give me the lot of time to help you fix your credit. So if you just
Exactly,
want to waste
man.
my time and everything, then yeah, sure, cancel it. You don't want to work with me anymore? Well, I don't need you. I don't need you.
Uh-huh.
So and then all of a sudden he started going on my Instagram, and then every single video, like lies, fakes, and every single video he was commenting, like all that stuff, instantly blocked him.
What a
And then
clown.
he had the audacity
What a
to, well, because we were still texting each other. We were still texting each other, and he started doing that on my Instagram. I clearly saw it, and I was like, I deleted the first one, and then I noticed that he kept doing it for the other ones, and I instantly blocked him and reported him, and then deleted all the comments, and he had the audacity to still tell me, "Why did you block me on Instagram?"
What a
I
bitch.
just left him on red and I stopped
What a
responding to him.
bird.
What a fucking loser. I was like, dude, what do you expect? Like, what did you expect?
Yo, man. Yo, some people are really weird, bro. Some people are really weird in this world, man.
I know. I know. It's ridiculous. So yeah, man. But so that's why I'm telling you, like when you're telling me that you want to move your target audience to someone more high level. Yeah, I fucking
Uh-huh.
100% agree with you because that's what I do. Like I that's why I have that consultation and that price point to
Hmm.
like weed
Same.
out all the people who are like, I have horrible credit, but I'm still gonna not change my borrow behaviors, and I'm still gonna get late payments all the time, right? And because I don't want to deal with those, I don't want to have chargebacks. I don't want to deal with dumb people.
Nah,
So
same, bro. That's why I up my price, man. Like, yo, and it's crazy. I've gotten better. Yo, I always tell my boys this, man. I've only ran one promotion since the inception of New Leaf Financial. I ran one promotion. The reason why I ran that one promotion was to test try a new method. It was when I was transitioning from Prodigy over to Dispute Panda, right? I was
mhm,
like, I'm gonna try this, and because I can't guarantee the results, I don't know if this new software works or not. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna charge basically cost and like a few bucks on top just to wake up in the morning, right? And I put it on my story. I was like, yo, testing out this new method, extremely discounted price, DM me. I had like, it was only for 3 slots. I had those three people sign up. Perfect. I'm telling you, that is the last time I will ever offer a discount. Those three people in the span of 2 months
canceled.
didn't pay.
Contract.
Nah, it's not that they canceled. They just didn't pay.
Yeah,
I'm like, yo, what a waste of time because I'm over here trying to test out a new method. So I'm giving this discounted price to keep them on board.
yeah,
And you're gonna cancel. Like, I'm wasting my time because now that's 2 months of data that I don't have. Like, it's just
right.
because I'm trying to get this data to transition everybody. And so that's what I told my boy. I was like, yo, I'm never running a special again. I'm never running a sale. I personally think, I mean, another credit repair company can take care of those clients. It's just not gonna be my credit repair company. It's just not
Right.
gonna be me, man. Like, I like clients who is like, oh, I need you to get a secure credit card. It's gonna be a $200-300 deposit. Done. What's next?
Yeah, exactly.
Not not all. Um, I'm waiting for my next check in 2 weeks. Like, all right, that's cool. That's cool. As long as you're paying me.
Yeah,
But bro, like, it's just that's why I upped my price. I used to charge like the standard 1,000, and it was cool. But I was like, nah, I'm providing a lot more now, so that's why I did it to 1.5. Eventually, I'm doing two, but then two, I really gotta work something out. I really gotta offer like a whole different level of value.
and to be honest with you, the other thing that you want to do is just up your communication. So
Oh, yo, my communication is crazy, bro.
no. Like, I believe you. I 100% believe you. But what I'm saying is that one of the cool things that from coming from a team, like there's
Huh?
pros and cons to having a team because probably working with somebody who just does it by themselves, they're like, oh, I want this one person who's knowledgeable about credit, handling my
Uh-huh.
accounts, and I have this one-on-one connection with that person.
Uh-huh.
But the other thing about that is that it's harder to scale that way because there's only a certain amount of clients you can take, right? And then eventually, if you scale too fast or too much, then all of a sudden the lack of quality suffers.
Hmm.
Also, what I started doing is I made when I hired the team, and now what I made sure is to have a customer support department. And then what I started to do was make the onboarding process such a function, like a very, very high quality, like onboarding process. They were treated like royalty, like onboarding into my company. And even Alex Hormozi talks about this, like the very first impression, the everlasting impressions of the company are formed within the first 48 hours of contract signing or payment submission. So what we did is we
Hmm.
got on a leadership call and we said, for every single product that we have for credit repair and for business credit, what are the first within 48 hours, what are the things that we can claim and state this is what you're going to get? And then what we're going to do is out of all those things, we're going to state them that it's going to happen in a week so that when it happens in 2 days, boom, we're geniuses.
Yep.
Right. So that's what we did. And so what we did is we made the onboarding process a very like high quality experience.
Mhm.
And that people love that. And then people love the communication. They to a certain extent, some people, to trust me, I've had one person sign up last week and she was like, yeah, I'm ready to start, blah 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 blah. And then she did the onboarding call and noticed that my employee was from the Philippines, and she's like, oh, I don't want to work, I don't want to work with you guys. Oh,
Poor
what would
client.
happen if they steal my information? I was like, it's not gonna happen. Like that's not.
Mhm.
They don't. Who are they gonna sell it to? Like they, first of all, they don't know who to sell it to. Second of all, they will lose their job when they make really good fucking money with me.
Mhm.
It's really counterproductive to them because they don't understand how the Filipino culture works. They're very not very loyal, but they are very, how do I explain this? They're very scared of punishment. They're
Mhm.
very terrified of punishment because the Filipino work culture is very toxic. Very chismosos, bro. Drama.
Mhm.
Drama in office is like like crazy.
I've heard,
Toxic
yeah.
environment, a very toxic environment. And so they're very afraid of authority, first of all. So the last thing they ever want to do is something illegal. That is the very fucking last thing they want to do. Break a law. Trust me. I've been having issues with it because even when I first hired a few employees, I hired them through a market through an agency that has an office space and everything. And I saw their contract with them, very predatory. Holy shit! If they quit without completing the full year contract for almost for whatever reason, unless they were fucking dying, they had to pay almost $1,000 to end that contract.
That's
And
a lot.
dude, they were getting paid $1 an hour.
Fucking crazy. Insane, bro.
Less than that technically, but yeah, like $1 an hour.
Fucking insane,
No
man.
matter how much I was paying them, the company was keeping the other margin, and they were getting paid like a few pesos an hour, bro.
Yeah,
So
that's fucking sad, man.
when, yeah, man. So when they like, first of all, like they're not incentivized to break law. They're not like they're gonna get really bad. Like it's just gonna be bad for them.
Yeah,
And
I've heard.
and
I've
then
heard.
in that industry, the VPO industry is very nice, tight niche. So if that an employer tells you don't hire this person because of X, Y, and Z, boom, they're like, good luck finding another like work in
Yeah,
that.
you get blacklisted from the marketplace.
Yeah. So that's what I was like, I'm like, trust me, it makes no financial sense to do that. Like it would be really dumb. They make really
Uh-huh.
good money with me. They would not be able to. That'll be dumb. And first of all, they don't even know how to do that. Like, who the hell are
Uh-huh.
they going to sell it to? Like, they have no idea how that works or anything like that.
Mhm.
Um, and
Something that, sorry to cut you off, something that Irene always said that always stuck with me is when she started to step away from the business and her clients would say like, oh, if I'm paying your company because I want to work with you. And she would tell them, she's like, okay, that's great, right? I understand that. But how come you don't go to Walmart and say, hey, I want to get checked out by Sam Walton? Or how
right,
come you don't go to Amazon.com and the delivery person is not Jeff Bezos? You
right,
still buy from them. So it's like you should trust the brand that I'm building, and you should trust the company that I'm building, and you should trust that my employees are up to a certain standard because you trust me.
right.
So I
That's
was
actually
like,
a fire ass response. I'm gonna say
yeah,
it every time.
it's a good response because it's like, why is it? Because you're not like a Forbes 500 company that, yeah, that you're getting treated differently.
Right.
It's that you don't bash Chase for when you call them and they have people in the Philippines.
Dude, that's what I was telling them. That's what
It's
exactly I
like,
was telling her. I was
why
like,
wouldn't
your information is already not secure. First of all, the credit bureaus get hacked. Like
Yeah,
what the
experience gets like
word
almost gonna
about?
be done in
And
2
she's
years.
like, "Okay, oh, I'm sending all this information to you and I don't know you." I was like, "I met you in person. Like, that's how I met you. Like, I'm in San Diego. You're in San Diego. Like, I don't need your credit score. I don't need your documents. Like, I'm
What do
good."
you have to steal?
Like, I don't have
Bad
anything to
credit?
steal. I don't have like, right? And then this was actually for a business credit client, so okay, a little bit more understandable. And then the other thing I was like, okay, when you call your bank, I know this that they hire people from the Philippines. You know why I know this? Because the people I'm hiring in the Philippines, they all have bank experience from
Yeah,
American Express. Because then Iloilo, the one of the major offices for American Express is in Iloilo, Philippines.
fucking crazy,
It's
man.
like they already have access to
But
all
they
your
don't give
stuff.
them shit.
Yeah,
They don't give them
they don't
shit,
like
right?
they don't give that them shit. It's like, and I told them my shit is like bank secured. So I'm almost there to that point, but I'm securing everything, like all my entire business as best as possible. So that's another thing. Like for example, since we handle people's social security numbers, what are the regulations? Can you give your 2 cents on this? What do you do in order to protect people's privacy information? Like, for example, do you use Google Drive? Do you make
Uh-huh.
folders on Google Drive? Do you put their information on an Excel sheet? Like, what type of software do you use to make sure that their information, their documents, are is never going to get hacked? Obviously, you can't 100% secure anything,
Yeah, it's just
but
you can't 100% guarantee it.
what do you do in order to make that happen to protect
Well,
them?
I outsource, but I don't outsource to the Philippines. I haven't actually hired anybody in the Philippines to do anything like dispute related. All the
Okay.
dispute stuff in my company is done in the US. But any like when I do hire like in the Philippines in the future, it's mostly gonna be for like the one role I'm thinking of hiring for. It's gonna be head of customer success, which is my role, and I'm gonna pass it on to somebody else. But as far as like the disputing, it's in the US, man. Like it could
Okay,
get
so
hacked the
so
same way it could
so
get hacked in
you
the
actually
Philippines.
do you have employees? Do you have W-2 employees?
No, no employees, man. Just outsourcing.
Okay, so the people writing the letters are in
Uh-huh.
the United States.
Yes.
Okay,
In Boise, Idaho.
Boise, Idaho.
Boise,
How much do you pay them?
I pay them 65 a round
$65 per round of letters?
per round, but it's only like I told you, it's 5 rounds max. So it's not even that much.
And
That's just
obviously, how much you pay a month? How much do you charge a month?
I charge 250.
Okay, so you're just making sure that you have a good profit margin.
Yeah, so my thing is 65 for the it's a little bit different. So it's 65 for the round, and then it's $15 for the credit report, right? So every round, every like if a customer signs up, and that's why I'm so like I can't work with everybody because if I see that you're 90 days late on your auto loan, you're not gonna pay me. You're not, you're not. Or am I gonna pay Edgar that I met on IG, right? Or am I gonna pay my card note that's about to get repoed? You're gonna pay your card note. I would pay my card note, right? So
Yeah.
if I see clients like that or that they've been late in the last 6 months, I just can't take them. Why? Because I run a risk up front where it's like up front, the second you sign up with my company, I lose $80.
Mhm.
I lose $80. The thing is, and then most people, like, especially when you're like they're new in the credit repair space, and I tell them that, they're like, yo, you're fucking crazy. But it's like, yeah, but I'm running this at scale, bro. So it's like I may be losing $800 up front because I signed up, let's say 10 clients, but the clients I've had the month before, let's say just 10 more clients, that's already 2.5K. So it's like at that point, when you're running a numbers game like that, you
Mhm.
can afford to take that risk up front.
Yeah. And so
So
is there end date to that subscription or is that for as
so
long?
it's just six payments of 250, right? So for me, the way that I look at that's why I always tell people it's like, yo, some people run a hustle and some people run a business. Like the people who run a hustle, they don't care about profit margins. They don't care about lifetime value of the customer. They don't care about none of that, right? So for me, um, for every client that I get, right?
Mhm.
If everything gets deleted within those first 6 rounds and it gets sent to like attorney review and the attorneys find violations, I make 1,087 on that client.
So that's your
That's
LTV.
that's well, LTV, not necessarily my LTV for now. It's just what I make on that customer. Because I could make more on the back end, but it all depends. It all depends what's that next offer. So, like for example, if I get them to do funding, which I don't do my own funding, I outsource that shit,
Are
right?
you outsourcing everything?
I mean, for yeah, pretty much. The thing is, what people forget is this, right? I outsource my disputes. Why? Because, bro, I've done my own letters. I've done all of that, bro. It's just time consuming,
It
right?
is. That's why I
It's
hired
bro,
a team.
bro. I'm telling you, like anybody starts this business, yeah, when you have 10, 20 clients, bro, it's great. You can probably do it. Once you have 30, 40, 50 clients, bro, you're not, it just doesn't make sense, right? It just doesn't make sense. Um, at that point, people always forget, bro. Like the way I look at credit repair is this. There's 4 factors of credit repair, right? And
Mhm.
this is why I don't even call it credit repair. I call it a credit improvement plan or a credit improvement program. Why?
Right.
Because if people hear credit repair, they think disputes. Fuck that. Credit credit improvement is about educating the client, building the credit out, disputing accounts, and then last is settling your debts. That's it. Yo, I'm telling you, like fuck, man. So many people think that it's like dispute. And it's like great, you can dispute things till the cows come home. There's this guy I'm mentoring, right? One of the first and probably only people I will probably ever mentor. He was telling me, he's like, Edgar, I've been disputing this account with LVNV, right? It was like fucking $600 collection. He's like, this is the last account I'm disputing. It's been, I think it was 10, 11 months, right? He was like, I've been disputing this account. It's not coming off. What should I do? You know
It's
what I told him? I was like, bro, LVNV does pay for the lead. You don't even have to negotiate it with them. Have you ever seen an LVNV account with a zero balance on a credit report? No, because they will stop reporting, right? And I told him, he was like, yeah, um, but the thing is, I feel defeated, right? I feel I feel like they defeated me. And I was like, the customer doesn't give a fuck what you feel. The customer doesn't give a fuck what you feel, bro. They
They
don't
want
care if
results.
you bro, they want results. And if you're gonna sit here and tell me the only reason that you're still wasting money on certified mail every month, on postage, on generations of letters, is because you have like some pride issues, bro, the customers don't give a fuck about how you feel. And the thing is, I told them, I was like, the reason why you're in in this situation is because you didn't set the right expectations. You told the client you're gonna wipe his credit report clean using just disputes. And it doesn't work that way, man. Like for you, like you mentioned earlier, you can in your personal credit report,
Mhm.
you still get approved for shit, but you have I think like a charge off or a 90-day late on the
Late payments on student loans,
student loans, right? Bro, like
but they're already paid off. Yeah, so they're
yeah,
6 years old now.
that's why I tell people it's like that's why I set the expectations, man. Like sometimes like that's why the first 5 months of my process is disputing. We're doing the pre-litigation. We're trying to get it to attorney review. Great. If that doesn't happen, and or let's say the violations and damages can't be found on every item, the next 6 rounds, I'm doing Metro 2. I'm doing Metro 2 for whatever items are left over. And at the same time, I'm telling the clients, like, let's negotiate these debts. You have a $2,000 charged off account with Chase. Settle it for what does Chase do? Chase does 20 cents on the dollar. So that's 80% discounts, 2,000 minus 80%. Settle for $400. Chase will do $400 and Chase will let you back in.
They do?
Bro, bro. So I asked Sean Sharma one time, right? I posted a question, right, on my
Okay.
story. And I was like, if you had a $20,000 debt, right? Who would you rather burn? Chase or American Express? And he said, I would burn Chase because Chase, you can settle for 20 cents on the dollar and they'll let you back in. And I didn't understand what he meant until I really got deep into credit repair. Bro, Chase, you can like, they'll offer you after like a year, right? One, Chase, they have one company that they assign the debt to. That one company doesn't report on your credit report. I think it's called like MTD something. That's like their
I thought Chase did an internal team. I don't think the big banks send their collections to any company. They have an
well,
internal team.
I know Chase. So I know, for example, Capital One does LVNV, right? They completely sell it to LVNV. Chase doesn't do that. So Discover doesn't do anything. But what was it? Discover does something, and I know because my client is currently getting sued by Discover through another company. I forgot the name of the company. The Chase, they do assign it to a collection company, but that collection company doesn't report. Like they don't report to TransUnion, Equifax, or Experian. Within a year, Chase will automatically settle for 60%. You can negotiate 80%. Once that balance is paid off and settled, they'll let you get a checking account again with them, and it'll be like a second chance account.
Okay. Were you the one earlier that you were telling me that there was the bank that they wouldn't even take payments?
What? I don't think so.
Who did I spoke to today? Dude, I was like, why is this ringing a bell so hard right now? Because I was talking to someone, they're like, hey, yeah, oh yeah, it was my buddy. So my friend
Uh-huh.
burned American Express. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
he burned American Express, and
Never getting back in.
they're not even
Actually, you can. No, you
no,
can.
they're not even willing to take his money. He calls American
They
Express
probably
and he tells them like, "Hey, what do I?" Their legal department. He talks to their legal department and asks them, "What do I need to do? Like, hey, can we put a payment plan? Like, I want to, settle this debt." They're like, "Nope, you got to go through court.
uh-huh.
Nope, we got to settle this in court." So they don't want to do it. They don't want to do it outside of court. They want to settle it. They don't want to settle in court. And then they're like, "Yep, yeah, you're
Uh-huh.
blacklisted for ever." Which sounds crazy to me.
That's fucking crazy.
Sounds
Yeah, with
crazy to me.
Chase, I mean, with American Express, it's insanely hard. Now, I have heard this thing, and then this is from Gems actually. Uh American Express has this thing where if you don't settle on the account and you pay that account in full, I don't know at what point they stop taking that payment, but I'm assuming somewhere between those lines, they will accept the payment, right? Somewhere before that, they'll accept the payment in full. And if you were to pay them in full, I think about like 6 months, you'll qualify for, I think it's called the American Express Odyssey or something like that. But it's
Okay.
like a second chance account with them. And
Interesting.
after a few years with that account, that's when you're able to sign up for other credit products with them. But from
Interesting.
my understanding, man, if you have to choose between burning any like Chase or American Express, the way to go is Chase, man.
Okay, good.
The way
Because
to go is
actually, one of
Chase.
my friends and business partners, he had to like get rid of everything he had on his credit like a few years ago, and he one of them was Chase.
That's not.
Like,
Uh-huh.
Chase, I love Chase, and so I'm glad that you're telling me this because that's actually great hope
I
for.
know it sucks. Yeah, so it all depends. Like a lot of like whenever you see yourself like in like going through hard times and you can't pay credit cards off, you really want to see like, okay, what banks am I gonna burn? Like who's holding the bag?
Right,
You always want to see like, okay, like Capital One's a good one. Why? Because Capital One sells the debt to LVNV,
right,
right? That's their shit. They'll sell like, and the second you see LVNV, automatically think 60, 70% discount on that debt,
right.
right? Wells Fargo, on the other hand, Wells Fargo, um, Wells Fargo does not sell it to collection companies, then you have things like Discover and Citibank. Discover and Citibank will sue you. They won't settle for much. They won't settle for much. They'll settle for like 40% max from what I've seen with my debt settlement lady that I outsource it to. I'm telling you, bro, like um I
Well,
help my clients. What?
no, keep going, keep going.
So the thing is, when it comes to debt settlement, because it's the last section of my program. Um, what do I do? So because the last section of my program is debt settlement, it's two options. The client, I explain the client how to do it. You're gonna call at the end of the month. Why? Because these people have quotas to meet. You're gonna call at the end of the month. You're gonna tell them, hey, look, this is how much I can afford to pay. And if you don't take it, that's cool. Like I just won't pay you. Like that's like you really gotta be firm. Some people they're not comfortable with negotiating, bro. They get intimidated. They're not that great. They're gonna get bullied. They're gonna get bullied on the phone. That's why the second, like I have an option, which is kind of like an upsell, which is I have an expert do the debt settlement on your behalf. Like, and this lady has been doing this for 23 years. She
That's what I was
knows
gonna ask
the
you.
universal commercial code, like the
I was gonna ask you, are you the ones? Because you said after that you do debt settlements. I was like, are you the
uh,
one calling on behalf of the client, or you?
so
But you
here's
said it's an upcharge. It's an upcharge if they decide to do that.
yeah, so for the 1.5, it includes me teaching you how to do it, like the basics, right? Which is you're gonna call them at the end of the month. This is how debt works in this country. This is why you can get a discount, and this is how much you should offer. And if they're not gonna take it, you do hang up, call again. It's very simple. It's not like rocket science, but it could become like rocket science, right? And that's if you want it to get to that next level where you have a professional not only negotiate the debt on your behalf, but also monitor the payments to make sure that there's no FDCPA violations, then that's an additional charge. That's what my lady charges,
Right.
right? And remember, I'm dealing with higher quality clients because of the price point. These are clients that maybe they don't want to spend a month negotiating, going back and forth with a
Or
company
they
to get
don't
a
have the time because they're business owners. Because if you were to tell me,
exactly.
I'd be like, Edgar, how much fucking money do I need to give you right now? That way you
Yeah,
do it for me because I
yeah.
don't have the time to be on the phone with people.
Exactly. Especially when you're talking to 4, 5, 6 like different collection companies or original creditors. Some
Right.
people don't have time for that. That's why I have it like as an additional option. You can learn, you can do it yourself, and that's what you pay me for to teach you. But I also have that lady, and she'll do it for you. And like I'll give you a perfect example, right? Did you know that it's an FDCPA violation if a client has an agreement with a company and they're doing payments every single month? These collection companies or these original creditors, 6 out of 10 times, they'll tell you, we will not report the balance as zero until it's fully paid off. Complete violation. So you're not only paying my lady to do, yeah, so technically, and I've gotten this confirmed by lawyers, if you, let's say you have an account and it's an LV&V account and it's for $2,000 and you work out a payment plan of $200 for 10 months, the second you make that first payment, they have to update the balance to 1.8,
Okay, but not to zero though.
not to zero.
Okay, yeah, I thought that's what you said. Okay,
No, no,
that
no,
that
no.
that that is
The,
not correct.
the
Like what?
problem is a lot of these companies, they'll continue reporting 2000 and
Oh,
they
because
won't
they're
report
not doing updated every single month
exactly,
because they're
ex-
not used to being creditors or for data
exactly,
furnishers. They're
or
not.
updating the data, right? So it's like, so that's what you pay my lady for. Why? Because she's monitoring that. And she knows, she's like, okay, the second
They
the
fuck up.
second that they fuck up, and they don't update that, they have like a specific time frame to update it. So the second that that thing doesn't get updated, that's an that's a FDCPA violation, $1,000 per bureau, up to 1,000 per bureau, and that counts as part of the settlement. Bro, like there was this one client, right, who owed $24,000. No, it was $32,000 on a car that he took out 90 days ago. Literally took out the car. I think he made one payment, failed to do everything else. It was with Capital One, right? Tina, which is the lady that does my settlements, she negotiated that debt from $32,000 to $14,500 with 2 payment terms. That was a negotiation.
Wait, with 2 payment terms, that means that he had to pay the
He
full.
had to pay 2 payments of 7.5. Right? I mean, he scrapped the money from where he could.
But
Why?
that means,
Because
oh my god, oh holy shit! So you're telling me that
he
if
got the
Tina's,
car for 50% discount
but then he can, since it's a brand new car, he can then go back to another
and do it
auto
on
lender and
chill.
get a car loan on it.
Technically, if we get that thing off his credit report, but the thing is, the deletion of the item wasn't part of that negotiation.
Oh, so he still
So
had that negative account.
he still had that negative account. It was reporting as 0. Part of the negotiation was that the comment would say paid in full as agreed. But part of the negotiation wasn't like to get that removed. Of course, you could always go
Well,
through
if
a dispute process.
yes, correct. But here's the deal: we if it's gonna say paid off in full, then keep the account there.
Well, yeah, but remember, it's still showing
The
as
the 2 late payments.
30, 60, 90. And I think since the repossession was stopped, I'm not 100% sure if it said repossession still on the credit report, but it was definitely super derogatory with a 90 to 120 day late.
Okay, got it, got it.
The
Okay,
thing is, that settlement doesn't work. That settlement doesn't work until more than 120 to 150 days late. Most companies, they just won't even bother.
interesting.
So in that rare case, but remember, the reason why you're paying Tina is not because she's gonna sit there and negotiate just the balance. Like, for example, there's a lot of laws when it comes to consumer transactions, right?
Correct.
She is going to go and talk to the client and ask them everything, like, how did the transaction go? Let me see the sales contract. Have they tried communicating with you? And usually, like, for example, one cool thing that she taught me was if the car's getting repossessed and the client still has one hand on that car can't be repossessed.
Wait,
So
what?
if if the car is in process of getting repossessed,
Uh-huh.
as long as the client is touching the car, the company cannot tow the vehicle.
And if you film them taking that away,
It's
you're
it's
touching
it's
the
not
car.
it's not an FDCPA violation. It's a completely different violation from another like law.
Okay, but is that a federal law? Like, it's a federal law, like a criminal law, or just
Not 100% sure. I'm not 100% sure. That's why I always tell them like, look, like that's why if you want Tina to deal with you, she charges her fee. She charges that 15%, right? But she does offer some good perks. She does offer some good perks. And in certain
15%
cases,
of whatever you settle?
15% on the amount that she settled. So the incentives are aligned, meaning she gets paid more as more debt gets reduced.
So technically, the guy who got the 50% deduction, he still had to pay an extra 15% on that
You
day.
still have to pay that 15%, yeah.
Of
So
50% of the 50%,
so
15%
it
of
was
the 50.
32,000 and he got it for 14.5, right? Hold on, I got my math right here.
Yeah, let's do the math real quick.
So he got 32,000 was the purchase price of the vehicle, financed amount, I think. I think he still had to put like the down payment and everything, but 32 was what showed on the credit report. So minus 14.5, he got a 17,500 discount. 17,500, 15% of that is $2,626. So technically he did get a 50% discount because 14 is it?
So he technically got like a
He technically got
50.
50%, yeah, because
No,
14 is less than 15. 14 is less than 50% of 32.
yeah. So he got
So
about a 50% discount.
about a 50% discount. And then in that case, my company, she gives me 5% of that. So
As commission to you.
as commission for the client, so that 2650, hold up, that 2650, I got, hold up, 2650.
They gave you 5% of 2650.
No. She charges 15%. I get 5%
So
of,
5% of the debt of
hold
that.
up, divided by three. I got
So,
$883.
so technically her commission is 33 point.
Her commission is 10%. My commission is 5%.
No, well, here's where the math goes weird. So her commission to you is 33.333% of whatever whatever she makes.
Yeah. So on that amount, right? She
Right.
made, let's say, 2650. Divide that by three, it's 883. So I got paid $883 off of that.
Dope. Dope. All right. So, okay. Circling back on a few things, I've been taking notes on things that we like because we keep branching out into more.
Yeah, it's a lot, man.
All right. Quickly, CDM. I currently have 78 current active clients right now. Oh,
Uh-huh.
actually, that's a lie. I have 78 plus 8. I don't know why there's 8 of them don't have a portal, but whatever. That's 86 clients. I have 86 clients for right now currently for credit repair. Um, so just wanted to give you an update. How many clients do you have right now for credit repair?
Right now, off the top of my head, it's like 54 last time I checked.
Nice. There you
Like
go.
54, something like that. It's nothing too crazy, man.
Okay. Now,
Like I told you, my clients is within 5-6 months, they're usually sent off to attorney review and they're no longer clients.
okay, I would love to also connect you to my friend Anthony Joplin. He's here in San Diego and he will give you very good insights and he's certified up the butt. Like he is certified of everything. Why is that? Because he owns multiple companies and one of them is a collection company. His family has been in the collection company since the 80s. And so he knows his shit very, very like consumer law to the T. And we're good with friends because we work together. If any client doesn't pay me for funding, it's on the contract that I can send them to
Yeah.
collection and I can send them to collection when I send it to
Uh-huh.
him. And so he reviews all my contracts. And basically we also like I tell him like how we dispute collections, and then he also gives me insider knowledge on the collection industry.
Uh-huh.
Because it is a very lucrative business.
Yeah,
So
it is. It's
so
just shady as fuck, man. I'm
yeah,
not a,
it depends. It all depends, right?
uh-huh.
So this is why he said like I would never do medical debt because no matter what, I would never be able to be like, oh, your grandpa passed away. Well, now you owe me, you know.
And medical debt is easy, but it's a fucking crazy loophole to get rid of that shit.
Yeah, and then he also said like it's HIPAA violations or HIPAA law makes it very hard. So I would just rather morally and practically it's just not good to
Mhm.
do
You
medical
know,
stuff.
with medical collection, here's why I say like, yo, disputing is not the only way to get rid of shit. Uh, Medical collection. Did you know that they passed a new law? I think like last year or something. You know how last year they made a bunch of changes to medical collection. One of them being that if the debt is under $500, it can't be reported.
Correct.
In that same,
Yeah, go ahead.
it's either 250 or 500. One of those
It's
two.
500. It's 500.
It's 500, right? In that same law that they passed, a medical collection cannot be reported on a credit report if a payment has been made in the last 12 months. Meaning, if the client calls and makes a $20 payment and you have proof of the payment, you can just contact the bureaus and they'll take it off for 12 months. For 12 months. But those 12 months, if that's the last item on the credit report, you get that removed, you get enough funding to pay that medical collections off.
That's true. And then also that means that you only need to make one payment every 12 months.
Or you can just make one payment every 12 months for infinity,
Right.
or until it's under 500.
That is very, very true.
But that's why
The crazy
medical,
thing.
yo,
And then hospitals cannot deny you service no matter what.
uh-huh.
So
Yeah.
they have to keep you alive. Bare
Uh-huh.
minimum. So it's not like a bank where they can't accept you as a client. the hospitals have to accept you as a client, even
Yeah.
without medical insurance or anything. They have to do the bare minimum to keep you alive. But the reason why I was mentioning him is because obviously, first, I would like to connect you, and second, I will have him on the podcast eventually because he is a fountain of knowledge. And the third
Mhm.
reason I bring him up because I can confirm that yes, collection companies, depending on their contracts with the banks or credit bureaus, whoever they're buying debt from, there's different. There's either you can buy the collection company can buy the debt. That's option one. They can partner up with the company and be like, hey, depending
Get
on
assigned.
like it's a percentage, and some
Yeah.
of them actually they just give it away for free.
Ah,
Yeah, they give it away for free. Certain debt is given away for free because
get it
like
off the books?
Bec yes, and also because it's, after a certain amount, it's actually not that long. The amount of time where banks deem like this the likelihood of me receiving this money, there's no more it would be a waste of my money to allocate trying to recover it
Uh-huh.
than if I were to just let it go. So actually he gets
Interesting.
that for free, but then I think he does it where pretty much everything on him is profits, and I think he does that partnership where like, okay, if I do collect on something, I'll give you X percent, and that's why he gets the contracts because it's like free money for the banks and it's
That's
free money for
interesting.
him,
That's
right?
interesting. I'm
So
assuming because I know that they buy in bulk, so maybe
So
it's part of the
so
deal.
so debt buyers. So this is why again there's a difference between debt buyers like
Uh-huh. And debt
LLC,
assignments.
right?
Uh-huh.
And then there's just a contracts where like, hey, we'll go ahead and try to collect this debt on your behalf, and whatever we make, we just give you a percentage of
Mhm.
it, right? And
Yeah,
that is
that's
very
a system.
lucrative. So, but depending on the debt, also there's different. So if it's collateralized, not collateralized debts, depending on what type of debt it is, there's different price points at what he can buy it from. And the most common and the cheapest one, take a guess at how much he pays per dollar on debt.
I would say probably like 5 cents on the dollar.
Way less than that.
1 cent on the dollar?
Less than that.
Other than free.
It's point
What,
0.7,
0 like
point 0.7,
0.07 cents on the dollar?
point 0.7, just point 0.7, I think. 0.7.
Point 0.7? God damn.
Yeah.
Disgusting. Yo, these debts are yo, man, sometimes I think that this country's not real, man. This shit
Yeah.
can't
Oh man, we can talk about hours. So actually, that's actually another topic I want to talk to you about
man, this
the
shit's not
underwriters.
real, bro. None of
Because
this shit is real.
dude, I want to talk to. This is why I talked to the guy, the vice president of M&T Bank. The reason
Uh-huh,
why I was because I was like, hey, can you ask for permission to see if you can get on a podcast? Because I will absolutely love to get your views on
uh-huh.
how the credit system works in America and
It's fucking
the
crazy.
way the economy is going and the practice like the whole banking financial industry. Why? Because I would love to get the perspective because the banks create credit out of thin air.
Yo,
And
super.
yeah, and they are also some of the causes of the no, obviously not him specifically. Obviously, I'm not claiming that, but I'm saying like banks and this is not a good thing or a bad thing. One of the things that makes America great is our credit system. This is why we're
Mhm,
one of the best. We are the best economy in the world. Why?
mhm,
Because we're able to leverage credit. Credit is so amazing because it allows you to produce more and buy more than what you currently produce. So it's
uh-huh,
that's such a good thing. So, um, but yeah, so I told you about my clients. I told you about my friend Anthony who owns a collection company. The other question was you quickly mentioned about certain things that you look for, and when I first started credit repair, I did something very sneaky that I did not understand that I did, but I now after I did it, I realized that that's how I got my collection removed. So
uh-huh.
quick backstory: I went to university. They fucked me over on financial aid. All of a sudden, they said, "Hey, you owe us $10,000 for financial aid." I was like, "Nope. You said you guys will cover it. Nope. Well, apparently, we applied too late." That's not my fault, like, right? But
That's not
whatever.
my fault.
And then they were like, "Oh, for you to renew for next year, you have to pay us 10,000." I was like, "Don't have that money. I guess I can't go." They put a collection on TransUnion for $10,000. Well, anyways, I started credit repair with this company because this was like right when I started, getting to credit. I didn't know how to do credit repair, so I hired a buddy of mine to do credit repair for me. It wasn't going like it wasn't going well for a few months. They were just not getting anything removed. And so I remember that we recently sent letters 2 weeks before. And then at that time, I was thinking about like, I've been wanting to get into real estate. So what a real estate agent told me to do is like, hey, just go and see how much you can get approved for to buy a house. Right. I was like, okay, cool. So I talked to a mortgage lender. It's like, hey, nothing on your credit report can be under dispute to get approved for a mortgage or to go through the
Mhm.
mortgage underwriting process. And he's like, I'm like, okay, so what do I got to do? He's like, all you have to do is just call the credit bureaus and tell them, like, hey, because here's the thing, like you said, when when we send a dispute, the credit bureaus by law, they have to put
They have to
the
mark it as
account is in
industry.
dispute, right? So this account is under dispute by the consumer, right? And what that is called an RX code. Okay. I learned that because I called TransUnion and they told me that. I was like, oh, it's called an
Mm.
RX code, and it's a little statement on your credit report, and that's
Mhm.
what it is, an RX code. Maybe I'm remembering that wrong, but from what I remember, that's what it's called. And then so I call, and so they told me the agent told me just yeah, just call them, tell them to just remove them, and tell them because you're buying a house and that the mortgage lender's asking you to remove it. Okay, and they were like, and they're like, yeah, we do this all the time. So I called TransUnion, like, oh yeah, totally understand that happens all the time. All right, let me delete it. All right, thank you. And then yeah, and then next thing I know, in a week, that account gets deleted. And then I
Mm.
realized that after learning how to do credit repair is because what happened at the dispute process started, the account was in dispute. And then I go ahead like a week before it was the 30-day time for them to complete the investigation and do that. I told this to manually remove the code off the account. And
Mhm.
then their internal investigation deemed that like, hey, we were not in compliance, so they deleted the account.
Yeah, it could be. I can see it happening.
I was like, so I want to test that out again, but I just never had the time to actually do it for a client. So
Mhm.
I want to test that theory out. If we can, when we submitted something and we see that it's in dispute, we call and ask them to get deleted and then either do the whole litigation process, but I can
Uh-huh.
potentially see how they can say, but you called us to delete it, or it just automatically gets deleted.
That'd be interesting. That'd be interesting to see. I don't know if we'll be able to replicate it. I think it's just like
It was a luck of the draw.
I think it was a super luck of the draw, man. I'm just thinking of how many things could like
Could have gone wrong.
how many so many things went right. Like the letter being opened and being put through eOscar at the right time. It's just man, that's
Yeah.
super lucky. Did that
Yeah.
account ever come back?
What was that?
Did that account ever come back?
Nope.
Oh,
Yeah.
fucking,
Yeah, yeah.
fucking
Okay.
lucky.
So that I want to give you that. The next thing I want to remind you, this was my original question, like an hour ago.
Uh-huh.
How do you protect security? Because here's the thing. One of the things I've learned in business, the more control you have over your business, the better it is. Okay. Now I
Uh-huh.
understand there's people that can be over controlling, like control freaks and everything. That's not good. But controlling the business, the more control you have, the more income you can get because you can just make things go move smoothly, right?
Uh-huh.
So when you and one of the things that I noticed when working, remember I was telling you I used to work for a restaurant and I have a very good knowledge on restaurants. One of the biggest problems for most franchises, for Domino's, for
Mhm.
Pizza Hut, for Domino's, if I were to start a pizza chain, I would obliterate them. The reason why I know that, that's not a speculation, it's a fucking fact. Why do I
Mhm.
know that? It's
Mhm.
because they're franchised. So what is that? You have corporate Domino's, and then
Mhm.
you have franchisee owners that are still running operations in order for them to sell to make a profit, right?
Mhm.
They're trying to squeeze out of this store, this lemon juice that they have. They're trying to squeeze as much profits as
Mhm.
possible out of the lemon juice, even if they have to undercut certain things. And the
Uh-huh.
number one thing that I've seen all the fucking franchisee owners undercut is quality of product.
Yup.
This is why, think about it like this. In and out. You've had In and Out. Is that
Yes.
correct?
Yes,
Okay.
only when I go to Cali.
Okay. How often have you had In and Out, and in what states?
I've only had it in Cali, and I probably only had it 3 times in my life.
Okay, so it's probably something you can't really relate to that much, but in here in and out, very popular, super popular. The lines are long as
Yeah.
no matter what time it is, no matter what day, no matter what time it is, and they move
Uh-huh.
fast. They're actually very fast about it. Um, one of their key successes that I can see, that I know because I was in the restaurant business, is their consistency in product. No matter what day it was, no matter what time of day,
Yeah.
and no, and here's the key important thing. No matter what location it was, no matter whether it was the San Diego location, no matter whether it was like the Las Vegas location, no matter it was the San Francisco location, if you ordered In and Out, if you went there, you got the same quality burger. Now,
Mhm.
can you make a better burger at home? Fuck yeah! Like it's fast food. Like yeah, but the product look, smell, tasted the exact same consistency. So it's just a
Mm. Yep.
consistency of the product. Okay, when you go for Domino's, if you order Domino's at one store on different days at different times, complete shit show. One day
Really?
on a Monday evening, it's low. Oh, so you get your delivery in 25
Uh-huh.
minutes. On a
Uh-huh.
Saturday night, you might get it in an hour and a half because they're slammed as fuck and they don't have good management in order because they want to reduce costs as much as possible, especially
Uh-huh.
in California. Why in California? Because the labor cost is so much more expensive. However, because it's a corporate company as well. They have their marketing is corporate prices for nationwide prices. So the same pizza
Mhm.
costs the exact same in Texas when they can pay their drivers $1 an hour as long as they make tips
Woo.
to for the minimum wage to be like $7 and something versus
Uh-huh.
California when you have to pay them $15 an hour. So guess who which store is gonna try to squeeze the fucking life out of their employees? The
The
California
California
one,
stuff.
because they have to
Yeah.
pay them so much more money, so they cannot
Mhm.
compete with the Texas store. So, but if the same large 3 topping pizza is $7.99, there's less rooms for margin for profit. So what do
Uh-huh.
you think they're gonna start undercutting? Labor. They're
The
gonna like,
uh-huh.
oh, instead of giving you 3 people in the inside to make pizzas because you're super busy, well, fuck it, you gotta have to figure out with one
With
because
one
labor is so
person.
expensive. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So that's why I mean, so there you had that issue. So because you have corporate and then you have franchisee owners with different set of laws in different states, labor was reduced in certain states. So the higher expensive states were in a worse position. And then as well as that, besides labor, what is the next thing you can cut? The quality of food,
The
right?
quality of the
Instead of
food,
putting
man.
the amount of cheese that you're supposed to event, the amount of pepperoni you're supposed to put, they're gonna start
Put
undercutting
less cheese,
that
less
big,
pepperoni,
bro. Yeah, they start undercutting that shit. And so
thinner crust.
yeah, so now you have a system where the franchise owners are incentivizing their supervisors to cheat as fucking much as possible, to like to fuck over the customer as much as possible,
Uh-huh.
right? And so now you get an experience when you go to one location and they can have exceptional service, and then you go to another location and it's horrible customer service, over product, over horrible everything, completely different experience because corporate did not have control over of who was the franchise owner because it was a completely different owner.
Mhm.
So here's my question. All that to ask you this question. You're outsourcing everything.
Mhm.
How do you maintain quality control for all your clients? So if that's one, to make sure that they get the best quality service every single time. If you're outsourcing, and I
Mhm.
don't know how, again, I'm not in your business, so I can't
Mhm.
see how like how many KPIs you have and how do you
Uh-huh.
ensure quality service? And then second of all, um how are you keeping the person's information secure when you have to outsource every single aspect of your business? You're
Mhm.
technically sending it to another company,
Yeah.
right? So technically, is does your contract give you the right to send that information to
Mhm.
another company, right? Because
Mhm.
that's essentially what you're doing.
Yeah.
Okay, so
So
all so much to unpack.
So the first half, how do I maintain quality control? I mean, remember, the only thing I'm outsourcing is the disputing, right?
Okay.
So everything as far as like customer service, communications between me and the clients, credit building, credit education, that's all still me. Like they're still talking to me. They're still talking to, in the future, anybody in my company. As far as the documentations, like the IDs and all of that, that's all in my contract, right? Like I put in my contract that any of the information they share with me could be shared with partners, right? Anybody that does the actual work. Now, as far as the debt settlement, right? Like if they do decide to work with Tina,
Mhm.
that's a completely separate contract that you sign with Tina.
Okay. Question.
Tina doesn't need your ID.
Question. Now here's the thing.
Uh-huh.
For security purposes, let me ask you, let me tell you why I'm gonna ask the next question.
Hmm.
I was talking to Andy Joplin, the guy who's certified up the butt because he owns a collection company.
Hmm.
For him to do business with you, he because he is so heavily regulated because he's a furnisher of data, he needs to have certain compliances. He needs to have certain certification and
Hmm.
IT software that protects the people from stealing their social security number or blah 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 all this information.
Hmm.
He is actually the AWS, so he has AWS certification. So basically, Amazon has
Amazon, right? Yeah.
services and servers. And what you do is you buy like like a proxy window basically, and you run your entire business through there. And your employees have to log in through that window to get access to the
Excellent
files.
shit.
And then everything that happens through that window is recorded. So if first of all, it's not physically possible for an employee to like take a screenshot and download it to the hard drive of the computer because that's not physically possible in the software. And then even if they're able to steal passwords or information, maybe pull up their phone and take a picture of it, like everything is tracked and recorded, right? So right, obviously things can happen, right? But that is like ultimate protection. And for the banks, because again, his clientele is not the collection company.
Is
Sorry,
the
it's
the
not
bank.
the people in collections. It's the banks. So he
Hmm.
needs to have the same level of security as the
Hmm.
banks have, right? So that's where I'm trying to build my credit report company to have that level of like good like level of security. Why? Because
Hmm.
I want the best for my clients. And then second of all, so my question is, how are you ensuring that your partners are having that type of quality insurance? Because even though like you have the contract in place, you still have a, I guess, a fiduciary duty to your clients
Yeah.
to ensure that your partners have the same level of ethics and
Hmm.
security that you have. For example, if like yes, you may control like this again, control is such an important thing in business because
Hmm.
you may be able to control that no information gets leaked to anybody that is not authorized to have your client's information. But as soon as you send that over, if those partners don't have
If
that
they're not.
same level of quality they have things in place to protect their information, then you are putting your clients in risk for identity theft and stuff
Hmm.
like that. Which again, after working in our industry, like it's not a big deal because you're victimized
Hmm.
every 35 seconds. But clients don't
Hmm.
see it that way, and the government doesn't see
Nah,
it
of
that way.
course.
So,
Nah,
so
of
how
course.
are you making sure that those people that you're sending that information over, what type of due diligence have you done in order to ensure, okay, they are doing the best that they can possibly can, and at least they're even either doing something the best of the ability that I am doing, or even better.
I guess the best that I can do is just vet the person before I work with them.
Mhm.
Like I don't work with too many people. Like when it comes to like the outsourcing, this is the first time I've outsourced with anybody. And before I even took that step, I really just had to vet the person, vet the company, see how long they've been in business. Like for example, the lady I outsourced it to, right? She's not big on like social media. She's not the type of person to like be making reels and all of that. Um, and she's been doing this for 29 and a half years. I think the best that I can possibly do, other than being like, hey, let me monitor your computers and make sure that I'm seeing everything you do with my clients' infos, I don't think I'll be able to do that with her, right?
Mhm.
So as far as how much I can do is just making sure that I vet the people that I work with and that
Right.
I submit my clients'
Yeah.
info to.
Correct. Which I mean, like that's there's pros and cons to doing everything,
Mhm.
and you cannot do that if you're outsourcing. Unfortunately, you can't.
Yeah, you can't.
But all you need to do is to be able to trust that they have the same securities and the same practices in case something does happen. And then the
Exactly.
other thing is that the pros of it, so the cons is don't control again. We go back to
Uh-huh.
control. The pros of it is like you are able to have more breathing room to yourself
Mhm.
because now that's something that has been outsourced out of your shoulders, and now you don't have to bear responsibility for it, right? Or I mean,
Uh-huh.
like, you're still responsible under the contract, but what I'm
Of
saying is that
course.
now you're not responsible to do the work because you're outsourcing it.
Mhm.
So I mean, like, there's pros and cons to everything, obviously. So this is why I'm like, I think at the end of the day, I'm like Alex Ramosi, I can hire an agency to have them teach me the beginning things, but eventually learn from them eventually so
Mhm.
that I can replace them and then have an in-house team that handles whatever that
Mhm.
agency was supposed to do.
That will be the future. Like, I think eventually once I go to the point where I could afford to have people in-house in the US, right? I
Right,
think that's like the next level for me.
right. Because let me explain to you what I do. What I do is that I have obviously the softwares that I use. I don't know if you know this, but like CRC, CDM,
Mhm.
they're 256-bit encrypted. They're
Mhm.
very good. Obviously, they have to be compliant because they deal specifically with social security numbers and everything. The next thing, so we store all their data there. The next thing that we do is also we have all the Google emails for like when because people clients email us documents, they email us this, they send us information through email, through text messages and everything. All those accounts have a username and a password, right?
Mhm.
What I did, I got a corporate account with LastPass. LastPass is a password sharing data thing.
Mhm.
And I put all the password, I create all the passwords. I'm the only one who has access to all the passwords. And then what I do is that I make a corporate email account for every one of my employees. And then I make them a LastPass account that is like a associated to my main LastPass account, and then I give them access to only the clients that deem that need to have certain access to certain softwares. And
Mhm.
then I put it where they are not allowed to see the password. And then as long as they're logged into their LastPass account on the computer that I have set for them to be able to log into it, they're only able to log in through that device and they can't even see the password to any of them. So like
That's
if
interesting.
I fire them, if it says they quit, they can't, then all of a sudden they lose access to all of that, complete access to all of it, and they can never copy and write down the passwords anywhere else, right?
That's interesting.
The other thing is that I just started doing this as well, like almost a month ago now. I hired this software called Time Doctor, and they have to, in order for them to get paid and for payroll purposes as well, and for security monitoring as well. I have a software that they had to install. They clock in, clock out through
And
there.
screen records your screen, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
I've heard of Time Doctor.
So I mean, like, is that gonna make it 100% safe? No. Like, there's still
Mhm.
so many other IT things because to get certified by AWS is like a minimum of $10,000 certification. So it's like expensive, and then you have to pay for the services. Like, so trust me, like once you're like a way bigger company, then yeah, like you just gotta progress. And right now, where are we at? I'm doing everything possible that I can do
Mhm.
where I can keep costs down and but protect my clients as to the best of my ability.
Mhm.
And to the knowledge that I possibly have.
It's like the way I look at it is just like when people try to do tax strategies outside of their tax bracket.
Yes.
It's like you have two clients and you're trying to set up a LLC inside a trust and in an offshore company, right?
Yeah.
So for me, I think with time, I will implement things like that, but I just think right now, man,
No, no. Yeah, no,
oh,
right.
I can't even afford to get $10,000 certification, man.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. So that's what I'm saying. Like it like that's when I got that client, it's like, look, if you want to work with me, trust me, I've never had an issue out of the years I've been doing this. Like
Mhm.
and my employees are not incentivized to do that. ever at all, right? So, I mean, there was not much I could. I mean, like, I'm gonna have to call her tomorrow and see if she wants to continue, but we'll see. Um, okay, man, that was amazing. I want to circle back on a few other things. Going
Let's talk
back to
on
going back
IT.
to we were before the break, we were talking
Uh-huh.
about Navy Federal. Just to quickly recap on that.
Uh-huh.
Navy Federal, the way that I tell people to do it is exactly how Jem says it. Either I tell people this, no matter what, if you're not in the military, you run a risk of getting your account.
Uh-huh.
Which I mean, like obviously, even with any bank can go all of a sudden, yeah, Edgar, I don't want to work with you anymore,
Yep.
whatever reason, right? Except for like discrimination purposes. But besides that, yeah. So based with that, there's two ways that I've seen people get in that are not in. And I tell people the backdoor method that people claim that there is, right? But it's
That's old school.
just but it's just saying like, oh, my grandpa was in the military.
Yeah, in World War II.
Yeah, yeah. Which to be honest, before COVID, that's what I did. I went to
Yeah, me
Navy
too.
Federal. Yeah, I went to Navy
That's exactly how I got into Navy Federal. That's why I stopped using an account.
Well, I still have that account, and I use it for my business. I've never had a problem. So, so yeah, I went in, I don't know, made an appointment. So like, I'm here to open an account. How do you qualify? My grandpa was in the military. Sat down, saw a banker, started the entire bank application process, and they said, okay, like 15 minutes in, they're like, okay, cool. How do you qualify? I was like, yeah, my grandpa was in the army. And I didn't know I qualified, but then I was doing some research, and it turns out that I did. I didn't get to meet my grandpa much because he passed away when I was 5, but that's pretty much it. Like, so that's how I qualify. They're like, okay, cool, awesome, and then that's it.
I did
That's
the same
literally,
thing over the phone, but
and
shit.
yeah,
What?
and then a year later, I did the same thing for my buddy of mine because I told him
Uh-huh.
exactly what to do,
Uh-huh.
and just tell them like, "Oh, it's COVID, so you probably just want to call them." And then they're like, "Oh, but I'm nervous." He's not good on the phone. He's not good at like finessing things. So I was like, "Oh,
Okay.
I'll call you.
I get
I'll
it
call
then.
for you." I
You're not
called
gonna sweet
in less
talk.
than 30 minutes. I got him approved. Did the whole thing. And yeah, it was super easy. It was that easy.
I
So
think
I
the
mean,
best way is just to find somebody who's in the military, have them do like the family member and somehow make it connect to you. I think that's the best way.
yeah, so I'm willing to explain that method. So that's the second method I tell people all the time. The other method,
This
that
is
the way
easy.
that you're never going to get your account closed, apparently, because this is the actual way to do it, is that you need to find someone in the military who has a Navy Federal account,
Yeah.
right? Which is not hard to do. It's like a lot of people in military
Yeah.
are in Navy Federal. When you have a buddy that's in the military and they have a Navy Federal account, they can put you as someone that rents with you. So you need
Yeah.
proof of address that you live with them, which is easy. Either they
Super
can
easy.
put you on their water bill or something, or you could just Photoshop that shit. Like
Hmm.
either or. And
Super
then
easy.
when you submit that, and you're like, oh yeah, I live with this person. So then that's how you qualify. Boom, done. Right?
Easy, easy, easy.
Easy stuff. All right. That's done. Um, lastly, I want to talk about. I know you were telling me that there's a way that you can remove late payments with like that are closed accounts or something like that. We'll talk about that after
Uh-huh.
or after a podcast. But iTunes, let's finally get to iTunes and let's wrap this podcast with iTunes.
Let's do it. That's gonna be the next
Oh,
bread and butter for New Leaf, man.
yes. Actually, before we get there, sorry, I just saw one last thing. I wanted to ask you, remember I asked you twice already, you got some sort of certification that you were a credit consultant.
Uh-huh.
And this is what I was telling people. There is no government body that
Hmm.
regulates credit consultants. Is that correct?
Not credit consultants, but credit repair companies in general. I think they are regulated by somebody.
But again,
Let's see.
here's the issue. So here's what I'm asking. To be a
Uh-huh.
life insurance agent, you need to pass a test, you need to get
Uh-huh.
licensed. And so that is a regulated body. There's an agency
Yeah.
for to be able to do real estate, to be able to be a real estate agent.
Hmm.
There's a government body for that. Which one is it for credit repair companies?
Let me see.
Because I don't think there is. And this
Let
is
me
what I'm
double
thinking. This is
check.
what I think. I think there is companies out there that their product, what they sell, is certifications. Like for example,
Uh-huh.
me and you, based on our credit knowledge, we can create a company and create a program, a coaching program, where we walk through the entire FCRA, all the laws that govern that are about credit consulting, credit repair, and then
Uh-huh.
make a little test, and then give them a certification if they
No,
pass
of
the
course,
test.
yeah.
So I
So
think that's what it is. I think there is companies out there that offer like, "Hey, get certified with us," but there's no actual like government body regulated by the government stating
uh-huh.
this is the like, for example, if you want to be a doctor, you're regulated by the AMA, right?
Yeah.
So which
I
one is
just
that?
Googled it. I just Googled it. So the FTC governs CROA, like the whole like Credit Repair Organization Act. But as far as like even the certificates that I got, like the from the CAA, right?
Mhm.
Those are just certificates. Those are just like
Yeah,
you said, they're private companies who put up a test, and based on the quality of their test, they get their reputation,
correct.
right? So it's like the difference between getting I don't bro, I never went to college, so I wouldn't even know. But it's the difference between getting a fucking diploma from Harvard and getting a diploma from a regular community college. So
Right.
all these companies, right, that do the certificates are basically just that. Like it's based on how well their reputation is.
Right.
So the same way that there's what I did, which is the board certified credit consultant, there's another company that does those certificates.
Yeah.
Now, the only reason I got those certificates is because in the state of New York, I don't have to be licensed or bonded to do credit repair. So what I did, I only did it for that, man. Like if it was like Ohio, where you can get a license to do credit repair and you can frame that up, I would love to do that. The thing is, there's nothing in New York that allows me to do that, and especially with bonds, like a surety bond, I can't even get one of them if I wanted to. And trust me, I've tried applying for a surety bond through New York or any type of insurance for clients, and I can't because a surety bond is it's a three-way insurance. One, it's you. Two, the company insuring you. Three, the government or the state requiring it, right? So because the state doesn't require it, it doesn't allow it to be like a surety bond. So for
Because
that reason,
there's no incentive, or there's no reason why the company wouldn't want to insure anything at that point.
exactly. So there's not even a way to get a surety bond if I wanted to. You know how they're like, oh, you're required to get a surety bond in Florida or whatever.
Mhm.
I can't even get a surety bond if I wanted to in the state of New York. And there's no license that I could apply for in the state of New York. So I don't have to register my credit repair company with the state of New York. In other states, you do, like in Ohio, you have to do it.
Mhm.
And they give you this nice certificate and you can board that up. And it's the only reason I even did it was to have something to prove I went above and beyond to try to get something to show you that I'm serious about
Yeah,
this.
and I'm not another schmuck on Instagram
Exactly.
that took a $250 course and bought a few
Exactly.
letters or something like that, and
Exactly. So it's like that's why I feel like those companies exist, right? But at the end of the day, it's like you said, it's just private companies that have what's it called? It's a college term where they have your not your transcript. They have a set of courses, and inside those courses, there's classes,
yeah,
and it's like those
curriculum.
classes a curriculum. It's just private companies who have a curriculum, and at the end, you get certified. It's just like Harvard. Harvard is just a private company who has a curriculum, but all that matters is the reputation of that company.
Right.
So
How hard
I
is it to get into that company, and how good their statistics of their graduates are?
exactly. And also, if you were to take like the exams that I took, bro, I failed one of the exams 2 times. Like I was like, bro, credit repair is not that hard, right? Bro, when they test you, they'll ask you things like, there's a section on uh to be certified for a credit score consultant, right? So there's the credit report consultant, and then there's the credit score consultant. One of the questions they'll ask you is, um, who started FICO, what year, and what does the acronym FICO like stand for? And who started it? Like, what was the two guys who started it?
Fair
And the
Isaac
answer,
and Company. It was founded in 1985, I want to say.
something like that. And then, but there was two guys, and I know it stands for the Fair Isaac Company, but I think Fair and then Isaac were two different guys, so they have the two separate last names. And it's like those are it's like simple. I wouldn't say simple, but it's like
Oh, it's data that all you have to do is memorize.
yeah, it's just like any other school. But I'm telling you, it's those tests are pretty hard, man. Those tests are pretty hard, but like you said, it's not like they're regulated. It's not that they're regulated in the like I know some lady that started her own certification company, and her tests actually from what I hear, really, really, really hard, man. So to get those certifications, you got to be a heavy hitter. But
Right. Yeah, wait, the lady you partner up with, right?
no. There's some, I'm in a bunch of Facebook groups, right? So I get to meet like a lot of cool people in the credit space,
Okay.
and I think her name is Ebony Dubois, and she started a company that's like the competition of the other company I got certified with. And she just started it. And she has her own like certification. She has her own like books that you gotta read. Like, bro, like for the certification I took, just for one of them, I had to read a 300-page PDF on like the history of credit.
Holy shit. I'm a just now with ChatGPT, just upload it to ChatGPT. Please give me
Yeah,
a
it's
summary
like,
of the shit.
bro, there's a lot of sneaky people out there. You know what they started doing? They started groups, right? Because everybody caught up to the get the certification. So I've found groups, right, of people who just share answers to the test, bro. And it's just like, really, dog. Like
Wait, oh, for the answer to to the test, did you gotta go in person somewhere, or was it online? Or
everything's online.
was
Everything's
it
online.
was it monitored? Like you know
Yeah,
how
it's through like a specific portal, so it blocks out everything else.
but
And I think
is there someone seeing you?
nope.
Oh, so you can still have your phone and be like,
Yeah. Technically, you could. Technically, you could. But that's what I'm saying. It's not like a government agency regulating those certifications.
right,
But there is a government agency regulating the credit repair space as a whole.
right. So just so that people can see this and know this, here it is. So
It's called, yeah.
well, no. This is what I when was FICO started? So FICO was started for Isaac Company Corporation.
Right here. Bill Fair and Earl Isaac at
Yeah,
the bottom.
yep.
You see? That's what I
And
tell you.
yeah, in
There's
1956. However, the reason why I thought 1985 is because FICO was
yeah,
introduced
FICO
the
was
first
introduced in 1989,
board-based.
but they would do like, I think they would do like small gas stations or something at first, or like in delis, like little credit systems. But they started
Mhm.
as something completely else, man. They weren't into that at all at the beginning, and
Right.
then later on they
Yeah.
became like
Yeah. In
the FICO that we know
1989,
today.
they introduced the very first credit scoring model.
Yeah, I think if I'm not mistaken, I could be 100% wrong. I think it was that they had a deli, and they had a process of keeping customers records, and that process of keeping customer records, they eventually sold it to like another company, right? Like they sold the concept to another company, and then they realized like, hey, we're in the wrong business. We should be in the mod, like I guess you could call it the credit monitoring space now.
Yeah. The consumer data collection.
The consumer data, yeah. They realized they were in the wrong space, so they started the FICO company. But it's like in the test that I took, in order to become a credit score consultant, you had to know things like that.
Yeah, the history and stuff like that.
But yeah, man, yo, I recently like, man, I took that test like fucking a year ago at this point. But just recently, it could have been more than 2 months ago. I saw some guy on Instagram. I like to follow like a lot of people in the credit space.
Uh-huh.
Just because, like you said earlier, bro, like you got to be ready for everything, right? So
Right.
even if
Yeah.
it's the wrong way to do it, I still want to know so I can advise my clients
Not to do
because
that.
I have to see what information my clients could be getting out there.
Right.
So when they contact me with that, I can let them know. Like one of the sorry to like segue out of this,
No,
but
no, no. Go, 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 go.
um one of the biggest things that I'm having problems with when I explain to clients is the whole like the misinterpretation of laws in order to like say things like
Yes.
oh, you legally don't have to pay rent because
Yes.
you are the original creditor, and when you were born here they gave you a straw name in all caps, and it's like I get where they're getting that from.
Yeah.
I get where they're getting that from. And I've seen people pull like receipts, but holy shit, it's just like everything that I've ever read from like a government source all says it's a scam. Like the actual government is telling you it's a scam.
And they're gonna tell you that's the point. They're trying to tell you it's a scam
Yeah,
so that
yeah. Oh
like
my
you don't
god.
have access to this money and capital because when you're born, the social security, like if you
Yeah.
call the number at the back of the social
Uh,
security, you have money in that account.
oh my god, bro. That's such a fucking like it's and then I went back and forth with this guy one time, boy. And it'll be the last time I ever go back and forth about any of this shit.
Yeah.
Um, and he was like, "Oh, but look, I have receipts of me doing it." And he showed me a receipt where he got like a tax exempt status because of his I think what he his not his nationality, but like his status on in this country, like he's a sovereign citizen, some
Okay.
shit like that. And he was like, "Look, that's why I don't pay taxes." And he sent me a Buffalo Wild Wings bill where they took the taxes off and it said tax exempt. And I told him, I was like, "Bro, I used to work at T-Mobile for 7 years. If somebody like you came into my store, do you think I'm going to press you on what that is? No, I'm going to put in tax exempt. They're gonna ask you for a little code. Bro, you can literally tell me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The system
Yeah.
doesn't verify that with somebody. The
Yeah.
system just keeps that for their records.
Oh
So
my
when it
God.
comes
I
to
used to
tax
do this
time,
for Domino's. I
yeah.
I did this for Domino's. Why didn't I ever think about doing this for every single company I ever fucking paid money to?
So it's like you've done it for Domino's. Bro, if somebody's here telling you, oh, I'm tax exempt because I'm a sovereign citizen, are you gonna question them? You're not. Be like, oh, you're tax exempt. I'm gonna hit the little tax exempt button. It's gonna ask me for a code. You can literally give me whatever code you want. The system isn't connected to some backend that's gonna verify that information.
With the
The
government.
system,
Yeah.
the system is just doing it to keep it on records. So when the company goes and does their taxes, they can report that to the IRS. I'm assuming.
Yeah. So what they're saying is that we did not collect taxes because this client is tax
Exactly.
exempt. So that
It's
way
tax exempt. This is the tax exempt ID that they gave us. Boom. And I'm assuming, and it's like they'll go and they'll be like, "Oh, you see what I'm teaching works. Look, I went to Buffalo Wild Wings and I'm tax exempt, bro. Show me the IRS telling you that. Like, show me the IRS tax exempting you.
like let me
Not
see your tax
Buffalo
returns.
fucking Wild
Like,
Wings.
oh well, technically you wouldn't have tax returns then. Well,
Yeah.
maybe you would have tax returns, but it would just say tax exempt, and then
Oh, it's
your
just,
tax bill will be zero.
they're like, oh, I don't have to follow the law because I do this and
Yeah.
bro, it's just it,
Yeah.
it, it
I know, bro. You're already getting frustrated.
like bro, it's not that hard. Like
People
it's
are
not that
goofy,
hard.
bro.
Like you don't have to do all that. And yo, some people really buy into this. Some like I had some guy send me this, and he was like I was talking to him via Instagram, right? He asked me for some help, and he sent me this video. He was like, "What do you think about this?" And it was some lady who
Dude,
was
by the
like,
way,
he was like
real
this.
quick before you say that, don't you hate it when people just send you, "What do you think about this?" And it's the stupidest video ever.
Yo, it's some lady, right, who sounds smart, and where the video goes,
Send it to me.
never
Send it to
receive a credit denial again. And then it talks about some lady, and it's some lady saying, "Oh, if you ever got denied, you let the underwriter know."
Send it to me.
Subsection,
Send it, dude. Let's put it on the
bro,
podcast
you
right
can't
now.
even talk to an underwriter.
Send it to me. Send it
So
to
I'm gonna
me.
send it to you right now, bro. Just so
We're gonna play it right now on the podcast. We're gonna watch this shit together right now.
bro, look at this one. Look, put it on the big screen if you can.
Subsection 1611.
Subsection 1611. Oh my god, that's the worst, bro.
How did you send it?
I sent it through Instagram.
Okay. Hold it
I
up.
can send it to your business
No,
email.
no, no,
So
no, no. No, that's fine.
bro, oh my god, it literally like pushes my hairline back every time I see somebody like my the best one is when they be like, "Oh, according to US 1666A or
Yeah.
1666B, late payments are illegal." And they'll point out the first sentence, right? But they forget to read, it's not even a finished sentence because that period is supposed to be a comma, and it continues. And I made a whole video about it because if you were to read it as a sentence, right,
Mhm.
it says, yeah, for no reason can a payment be considered late on your credit report. And they'll put a period and be like, "Yo, this is crazy, blah, blah." But then if you look at the actual law, it's not a period, it's a comma. And the comma says, unless the original creditor has established a system in place where you get a bill or you get a statement. And every company has an automated system where they send you your bill at the end of the month.
Right.
So it's like, as long as they send you that bill, it makes the payment like valid. So in certain scenarios where a customer can prove, right? And that's why a lot of people who are like setting up to dispute their own accounts, they'll get off of paperless and they'll go on paper bills. Why? Because if they can prove that they never got that bill in the mail, then they can void the late payment using that law. But these people are getting paperless bills like it's going out of style, bro. Like, man,
All right.
that shit just grinds my gears. So you can
Let's
put it.
yeah. Let's
Watch,
this
put it,
real
put
quick.
it, put
This
it,
is
put it.
fucking
I'm gonna
hilarious.
let me get some water real quick.
All right. You talk. What you talk? Let me. You want me to put pause real quick?
Nah, you good, man. You good. I got my water already.
All right, beautiful. All right, you guys, here we go. So again, this is nothing against the person posting this. I don't know who this is. We're just gonna react to the video and give it our best commentary. So, here we go.
Bank secret.
And they put the
No.
alien music in the background. They put the
And-
alien, the secretive music.
Yeah,
like,
yeah, the
this is
alien
what the
music.
1% is
And,
hiding.
and,
from
and we
you.
got the guy who was like,
No.
"Oh, fucking pay attention!" Like, oh my god.
Come on, that shit gets me tight.
Here we go. Here we go.
Have you ever been denied credit? Did you ever apply for something using your social security number and the bank or the company said no? Well, how rude. Given the fact that
The entitlements, bro.
How rude!
How rude.
How rude!
What? They did not approve your $50 million loan? What? All right, here we go.
that the entire consumer transaction is predicated on your unlimited credit. How rude. Here's the code. Title 15, subsection 1611. False and misleading denial of my own credit. Yes. And for extra sauce,
It's a sauce.
asked to speak to the underwriter
Which
and
they
give the
won't.
underwriter that code. See what
They
happens. Tell the underwriters you want a listing of all of the factors that were involved in this consumer transaction. It's not a credit transaction.
Your
It's
scores
a
in the
consumer
fucking toilet.
transaction.
What was that?
It's like, yeah, I want a bro, and
Okay, hold on. Let's finish the video.
no, actually, don't even start it again. Hold up. You see how she's like, oh, ask them to give you a list of all the factors that led to the denial of this consumer transaction.
Mhm.
That's literally what an adversary report is. The thing where when you get denied for a credit card, that they send you that email, and here's why you got denied. Well, it's that. Like the underwriter doesn't have to give it to you.
Yeah. Oh, what? Okay. Oh, so actually, funny thing that you do that you actually say that, because that's what I was going to bring up. It is actually, so your consumer transaction, so your consumer factors. What do you think FICO and the banks are looking at? Your fucking consumer factors
Yeah.
that you are reporting on your own credit report. What is a credit report? It is your consumer borrow behaviors.
Yeah, like, oh my
Dude,
God.
okay, by federal, just quickly, since you're already talking about it, by federal law, when you apply for credit, whether you get approved or you get denied, no matter what, the bank has to give you the following. They have to tell you what credit bureau they pulled your credit to do the underwriting process. So again, whether you get approved or denied, they have to tell you, hey, by the way, Edgar, we pulled Experian and TransUnion or just Experian or whatever it was, right? They have to tell you what was your current credit score with that credit bureau at that point of time. They need to tell you what what scoring model they use in order to give you that credit score. So they got to tell you, hey, Edgar, we use FICO score 8, bank score 8 to get you this 750 that was on your credit report on Experian. And then on top of that, they have to give you the top 5 borrow behaviors that are potentially affecting your credit score the most right now. Whether you got approved or denied, they have to give you the top 5 borrow behaviors. And guess what? Who else? Guess where they get those borrow behaviors? They get those from FICO. It comes from FICO. It comes from the credit scoring software they use to give you the credit score, which in 99% of the case is FICO. And guess where else can you go find those besides applying? Is opening a MyFICO account. MyFICO will literally tell you, because you can run every single credit analysis model to literally, they'll tell you which borrow behaviors you have, and they will give you the top 5. So then you will say, okay, hey, you have a 780, but the top 5 borrow behaviors are like, hey, your credit file is still a little too new. So maybe the only thing you can do is let your accounts age, right? Or maybe, hey, you lack in mortgages, or you lack in auto loans, or you lack in this, or hey, your credit utilization is a little too high, or what. They're going to tell you the top 5 things. So those are consumer behaviors. Yes, that's what they're going to be telling you. Like, okay, but let's finish this real quick.
Because you wanted to access a portion of your unlimited credit.
Okay,
where's this unlimited credit? Where are they getting this from, bro?
From the idea that when you were born, well, it's so much. It's from what I read. It's the idea that your social security number is actually a bank account, right? Tied, like that number is tied to a bank account that has like an infinite amount of money attached to it. Bro, it's just some fucking. I don't even try to get into that bullshit, man. Oh man. And then look at the comments. The comments is like, this is true. You have to understand, banks are borrowers and we are the creditors. Your application is a security. And it's like, bro, it all comes from them doing their own interpretation of the law.
Yeah.
Now, bro, an underwriter will never talk to the consumer that they're underwriting for.
This is why this is why you have bank relationship managers. They can do the top.
So they can talk to the underwriter for you. And even at that, in some banks, they can't even talk to each other. Right? bro, I'll never forget this. I went to Credit Con last year, right? I'm not gonna mention who was there, but a lot of heavy hitters were there, right? A lot of people you see that are big on social media were there, right? There was some guy who's big on consumer law, right? Always talks his shit about consumer law, be saying the same dumb shit as this lady was saying, right? And he stood up. FICO was presenting, right? A representative,
No way. He
a
decided to run his mouth in front of FICO.
bro, a FICO representative was, talking, and he stood up and he was like, "Oh, I have this question, blah blah." So, according to US 15, started spitting out some baloney, and I'll never forget this. Anybody who would have not known better would have been like, "Wow, this guy knows his shit. He
Right.
memorized that specific law." Bro, literally, there was an attorney there, and he stood up and he was like, "Hey, I think I can answer that question." Um, he was like, "Your interpretation of the law is incorrect, and that specific interpretation has never held up in court." Right? So it's like he was like, "That's the problem. Everybody tries to interpret the laws to fit what they want, but
Right.
that doesn't work."
Which, to be honest with you,
Uh-huh.
you could interpret laws differently,
Uh-huh.
but then they need to be proven in court
In
that
court, right? There needs to be a precedent.
yes.
Right? So it's like it needs to be upheld in court by a judge. And then once it's upheld in court by a judge, from my understanding, once it's upheld in court, it's known as it has a precedent, right?
Correct.
Which means now that interpretation has a precedent, so it holds some value.
Merit. It has merit.
It has merit, right?
Yes.
And the lawyer was like, the way you interpreted the law has been tried and it has never held up in court. He's like, you can go, I think it was like on Pacer. He's like, you can look up every single time that law has been tried, and you can look up all the times that interpretation has failed.
Right.
And at that point, I was like,
there's so
I was
many
like,
things. Yeah. Ever since the whole consumer, when people tell me, "Oh, I use consumer law to fix credit," I'm like, "Fuck."
I mean,
Here we
man,
go. Like you could, but when they say
could,
that, they start talking about stuff like this, and I'm
you
like,
know,
"Oh, all right. What
when
consumer law are you talking about?"
when I talk to attorneys and when I talk to the lady that outsources for me, she always talks about how we don't put any consumer laws in the letter because 9 out of 10 times it just slows down the process, right? Why does it slow down the process? Because sometimes that law that you're using isn't the correct law to be quoting. And under the FCRA, you don't necessarily have to quote any laws. You just have to ask them for an investigation. Like, bro, if you see her letters, right? So this is something I recently learned. And it was because of her. And like, you know how sometimes you have something in front of you and it just doesn't make sense, right? Maybe you don't have the right information, or maybe you have something blocking it, but then it makes sense like months later once more information is available to you.
You know why? That goes back to what I was telling you. You need to level the level of
The frequencies that you were talking about. Yep.
Yeah.
So I would always think, like, at first I was like, yo, is this lady like scamming me? Because she's like, Edgar, like, it's not that hard. Like, she's like, yo, mind you, she's been doing this for 29 and a half years.
Is
right?
this the lady that you outsourced to do the credit repair letters, or is this the lady that you outsourced to go ahead and then go ahead and represent you to see if the collection companies did anything?
No, so that's the debt settlement lady. She knows her shit too, but
Okay.
she's only been doing debt settlement for 18 years.
Okay.
Right? So, and all these people I met at Credit Con. Right?
Okay.
So really good place to meet a lot of people. She was like, Edgar, like, there's all these gimmicks out there. Everybody tries to do something like different, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. He's like, but when it comes to credit repair, it's really simple. Like, if you were to look at her letters are like 2-3 sentences long. That's all. She doesn't quote any laws. She just asks them to do a verification. That's all.
For
right?
no matter what type of account, like if it's a late payment, if
No,
it's
no,
a
every type of account, she has like a different letter.
okay.
And then I was like, well, so aren't these just templates? And I've always heard like your template letters are bad. And then I got on a Zoom call with Brian Ponder. I don't know if you heard of Brian Ponder, FCRA lawyer in New York. So he's one of the biggest FCRA lawyers in New York. And it kind of like brought everything full circle, right?
Okay.
And what he told me, didn't tell me, it was a whole like group seminar. He was like, the reason it's not that the template letters are wrong, it's just that the verbiage
It's
in
wrong.
those letters
That's what I was gonna tell you.
could lead to could open you up for the bureaus to get out of doing their job. So for example, like bro,
I already know what you're talking about because that's exactly what I tell people. It's like actually one of my friends actually sent me a video recently when they were like, "Oh, why pay for credit repair when you can download my templates for like $50?"
no, I
Right?
mean the templates could work. I mean, that's the thing.
Could work. That's the thing. They could work, but that's the problem is that people it's not going to be a cater service. So at the end of the day, you still need to build credit. So that's why we have the program to build credit. The second thing is that you need to know exactly how to write these letters because when you buy a template, I was like, oh, this is the first round template. Okay, cool. Just copy paste my account and then it should work. No, because depending who wrote that template, how it was written, right? For what type of
And then what
accounts it was
year it was
written.
written too.
Was it
What
to
year?
dispute a collection? Was it to dispute a late payment? Was it to dispute a charge or a repo, a bankruptcy? What was it for, right? So
Okay.
they have like 500 templates, and you don't have the time to scroll through 500 templates and read all of them. And you know,
don't.
so it's like, no, like that is dumb. Like, could it work? Yeah, obviously. Like, yeah, sure. Like, if you want to go that route, sure. But yeah, like you said, it gives what happens to me is that now it gives Nelnet is the company that has my student loans. Since I did all this stupid shit in the beginning years ago, now it gives them no reason by the law to continue the dispute because they have already verified or they already completed the dispute process on my end, right? That I have with them. So
what I would do for your case, I would that accounts to reporting, right?
yeah, well, we can talk about. I'll show you my credit report and everything, and we can go through it.
I mean, honestly, like here's the thing, right? This is what Brian Ponder said, and the lady that outsources for me, she was nowhere in the room. She wasn't even part of the Zoom call, right? So what Brian Ponder said is like the reason why I don't sell my templates to the public anymore. He only sells his templates to his inner circle students, which is like a $200 membership you pay every single month. You get like 4 classes with him, right? And he discusses all
That is cheap as fuck.
it's cheap as fuck. But then the letter templates, he does sell them for like $400 or $500. And some of them might be like for collections. Then there's a separate set for repos. He said the reason why he doesn't sell them to the general public anymore is because some people will buy the templates and then they'll get a store letter, or some people will buy the templates and then they won't get the item deleted, and then they'll message him like, "Yo, this letter didn't work." But then he was like, "Okay, it's not that the letter didn't work; it's that you just didn't follow the process. And the process is you send that letter." And the verbiage in that letter ensures that you're following the FCRA. So you have the FCRA backing you up. And if you don't get the response that's outlined by the FCRA, like a stall letter is basically TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian betting. They're betting that you did not write that letter yourself. They're betting that you didn't send that letter yourself. And he was like, if you get a stall letter, we got a case. That's it. We got a case because the letters, they have the correct verbiage, right? And they have the correct verbiage that ensures you're FCRA compliant. ensures that there's no way for these companies to sneak around it.
Okay.
And they're betting, they send you a stall letter, they're betting that you didn't send it. So
Okay.
now,
So here's the question. So the question is it that as soon as that stall letter happens, that's like, get FCRA
that's
attorney,
it.
let's go.
You don't have to do anything else. At that
Really?
point, bro, and this is how Brian Ponder works. So, and this is what I'll refer to her as a real name. Her name's Shar, right? I'll connect you to, if anything. I'm used to referring to her as my lady, but her name's Shar, right?
Yeah.
And Shar always told me, she's like, Edgar, my letters are simple, but the thing is that all these letters that I write, the verbiage is verified by FCRA attorneys, and they're updated by FCRA attorneys based on what has upheld in court. So if they notice that they lost the case previously because of certain verbiage in the letter, then that letter gets updated.
Updated.
So that's why, if like in New York, if you want to work with an FCRA lawyer, one of the best ones is Brian Ponder, right? Brian Ponder, if you want him to look at your case, you have to use his letters. He won't accept letters from CRC
because then it's a waste of time.
It's a waste of his time. Why? Because he understands that the verbiage isn't updated, or he understands that those letters haven't held up in court because the original creditor or the bureaus have already fought those letters, and they'll say something like, oh, well, you told us that the account is inaccurate, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you never told us what you wanted to do. You told us, yeah, you want us to investigate, but you never said, do you want us to investigate and update it to us paid as agreed, paid in time as agreed? Do you want us to investigate and remove the item? And because you never asked them to do that, they just investigated. Yeah, we did the investigation.
Mm-hmm.
But you never told us what to do. So it's just small things like that, that
Yeah.
the bureaus will use to like get out of doing their job. And that's why so now the way that I understand it now is there's two types of letters. There's template letters, and then there's attorney approved template letters. So if you're dealing with a client in Virginia, you have to work with an FCRA lawyer who approves your letters, and all of them have their own process. All of them have done their own cases, so all of them are different.
Mm-hmm.
So every lawyer or every FCRA attorney will have their own letter that's approved by them, that they're comfortable with taking that case to court.
Okay, so technically, if I want to do this in mass scale, I should have an FCRA attorney that gives me their template letters.
Bro, there's FCRA lawyers that will do the dispute for you.
Right, but for a fee. So that technically, but then everybody's fee is different. So everybody, depending on what state you're in, I'll have to charge a different price point.
Yeah. So the thing with Shar is she has FCRA connections and FDCPA attorneys in all 50 states. Because she used to run a company previous to the outsourcing that she does now. She used to run a company called Attorney Connections, where she'll connect credit repair companies with attorneys. Mm-hmm. And that's why she made all these connections from that company. And she's actually the one who's put me in touch with like a lot of the attorneys that we work with now. So anytime, like I have this case right now where this guy got into a car crash, and the insurance company was supposed to pay out the remaining amount of the car. But what happened was that they left $843, and that $843 ended up charging off, which ended up causing the customer's credit to drop 100 points, which causes damages because now the customer can't get a home. And the customer has been trying to get a home. You look at the credit report, April 13th, 2023, they applied, right? They applied for mortgage with the biggest mortgage lender out there, X Factor, I think, X Actor.
Yeah.
That's the name of the company. So if you see,
depending on where they're at, it's called a different. It's either cross country mortgage or excess, or something like that. Yeah.
So it's like, so now the way that I look at credit reports now is like, yeah, we go through the dispute process, great, but what I really want is I want to see, are there violations? Are there real inaccuracies? And are there any damages? Like, what's this preventing you from doing? So in that case, I wouldn't even do the disputes. I would just send it straight to the attorneys.
That's yeah.
Maybe they wanted, because at that point I have proof that they were supposed to pay it completely. At that point, I might just have to send one round of disputes, which is letting TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian know this is what happened. Here's my proof. Please remove this off my credit report.
Mhm.
And if they hit them with a stall letter, or if they hit them with the thing is verified, that's it. They're taking them to court.
Damn, nice.
But that's the thing. It's like, now it's, what are the damages that you're causing?
Right.
It's like, and they calculate damages in different ways. So for example, if the mortgage was applied for in April, right?
Mhm.
And they got denied because of that, it's October, right? So how much money could they have saved renting versus owning? Like, they'll try to find damages in any way, shape, or form.
Beautiful. That's exactly what I was thinking.
So it's like, and that's what they'll do. And they'll work pro bono, like they won't charge you a dime, but they will take 50% once that settlement hits. And it goes back to what we were talking about earlier. They bet on themselves. So it's like, they're not gonna take every case, right? They're not gonna
Yeah.
take every case, but
So what do you do for those cases that they don't take?
it goes into the second half of the thing, right? So it's always like, for me, it was always, do I do factual disputing or do I do Metro 2? And what I found to be the most effective is just doing everything, right? Just trying to attack it from both sides.
Because I think from everything you're telling me, the best method to do starting off would be factual based disputing with letters from approved by
Yeah,
attorneys in that specific state.
yeah.
Because if they were to do any violations according to the FCRA,
Mhm.
boom, you got them. It's
Bro,
done deal. It's
that's
settled,
it.
done, and
And if
you will
there's
make money.
no violations, you just do Metro 2, which
Right.
is the
And
reporting
then,
standards of them.
to be honest with you, I feel like the likelihood of that happening where there's no violations is more on the lower side, I would say.
Yeah, but then remember, it's not just about having violations, there also has to be damages. And
Okay.
that's the big part. If there's no damages, then there's no money to sue for. And these
Okay, but
attorneys,
yeah, but here's the deal. You can always do like, have you ever applied for anything recently? You can check the
yeah,
credit report.
of course,
You
of
can see the
course.
hard inquiries and be like, hey, based on these hard inquiries, we see that you apply for a mortgage, you apply for a credit card, you apply for this. I don't see them on the account. What happened here? Oh yeah, I got denied. Perfect. Let's go. Right?
But then the question is not just enough to say, oh, I wasn't enough for the credit card. Why were you applying for that credit card? Oh, I wanted to get a refrigerator because my last refrigerator broke down and I lost a lot of food. Right. So now, because my credit was bad because of this inaccuracy, I didn't have a refrigerator for 2 months. And because of that, I had to keep buying food that was non-perishable.
Right.
Some shit like that. And I'm telling you, for me, my job is finding those no, not really the violations, because the violations really come after you dispute sometimes. It's only rare cases where it's so clear upfront that you send them directly to the attorneys. But sometimes it's a violation from, like I said, if they didn't mark the account as dispute. That's the one of the most
Okay.
common violations. So
Yeah.
my job is really finding, why do you need credit?
Mhm.
And it's like, what's not having credit holding you back from doing?
Right.
And that's
I mean, like, well, because here's the beautiful thing. what you can do is, because a lot of clients, they have already goals. I want to buy a car because I need to go to work. Oh, I want to buy a
Yeah,
house because I want to blah 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 blah.
exactly.
Okay, perfect. If worst case scenario is like they haven't applied for anything because they already knew they had bad credit and they wouldn't get approved, like first step,
Uh-huh.
go apply for something right now. That you can potentially use
Mhm.
in court, stating like that's what you've been wanting to do, but because
Uh-huh.
even if it takes a few months to go through court and everything, by the time we're in court, we can then state like it's been 5 months and this has happened,
Mhm.
right? And you can at least get payments, at least get at least an attorney to cover your case, right?
Uh-huh.
Pro
Yeah.
bono. And then so like you as a credit consultant, you can advise them to just let's go apply
Mhm.
for a mortgage right now.
Uh-huh. And I'll tell you this, sometimes they don't even have to apply for the mortgages. As long as they have proof that they have like the money saved for a down payment, sometimes that's enough.
Right? Or they were mortgage shopping, right?
Or yeah, or they were like, or they can show like a search history in Zillow where home saved, the conversations with real estate agents, conversations, anything that shows that yeah, you were in fact looking for a home. But at that point, like that's more up to the attorney to dig into to find that evidence.
Right.
For me,
But
for
like,
me
but like, here's the thing. What I'm telling you is precedence, right? If you find a
Mhm,
precedence where the attorney is like, hey, for us, in order to prove that somebody was looking for a home, we need 3 of the 5 following things: this,
mhm,
this, and this, and that. You know how easily you can manufacture those things?
mhm.
A listing on Zillow. Go find
Yeah.
properties that were been on that been in the in there
Mhm.
like 6 months ago. Boom, make a list of properties that were sold like 6 months
Exactly.
ago.
But
Go start messaging a crap ton of like real estate agents right
mhm,
now. Go
mhm.
get your hard you go and apply for a mortgage through a mortgage lender like right now.
Yeah.
Right. And have
You
those
can do all of
connections
that.
ready to go, like boom, 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 boom,
You can
right?
do all of that, but that's why with me specifically, like one of the only clients that I currently like to work with is just clients being referred to me by mortgage lenders. Why? Because those are the clients that already got denied.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
So me, I don't really like to touch like people who just want good credit to have good credit. For me, I like my ideal customer, like my avatar, is people who want to buy a home. Why? Because they have the money saved up,
Yeah.
and the damages is obvious. They can't buy a home, and
Okay.
that's a big damage right there.
Right. Which I can then this is what I can do for you. I haven't tested it out, so I don't want to just do it for you right away. But one of the companies that I own now is a social media management company. I found a way to market like crazy to mortgage lenders. I'm about to run it. I'm gonna try it for the next 30
Ooh.
days. And I this is how 0%. Remember Jeff Seckinger?
Uh huh.
So the guy who actually ran 0%. The guy who actually ran 0% was not Jeff Seckinger. Okay, I don't want to say that. No, this is live recorded. My bad. The person that ran the sales part of 0% and the person that ran the sales team and did the marketing is his name, guys, Clay Ratterman. Okay.
Okay.
He's the one who built the sales team basically.
Okay.
Um and what they did is they did marketing campaigns towards mortgage lenders, and they had the entire sales team fucking market towards them and then get them as affiliates. And so for example, mortgage lenders, how are you compensating them for sending them in, so for them sending you credit card clients?
Not doing giving them shit. Why would I? Bro,
Okay.
I'll give you two reasons why not.
Okay.
One, it's a violation under RESPA Section 8. Everything in a real estate transaction has to be like itemized, right? And it has to be made clear to the client. Because of RESPA Section 8, there cannot be any kickback from me to the real estate agent or the mortgage lender, and the mortgage lender can't give me any kickbacks. Why? Because it violates RESPA Section 8. The second one, right? Let's say you didn't give a fuck about RESPA Section 8,
Yeah.
right? Do you know how much mortgage lenders get paid? They
I
get
should
paid
have
one.
money.
They get paid 1.5% of the loan amount, right? If I'm gonna give you, let's say, let's say for example, on a regular affiliate, I do $200, right? My premium affiliates, which is like anyone who sends me 10 or more leads, $300. On the low end, my product is 1.5. On the low end, I give somebody $200. $200, that's, I would say around, I would say what? That's a big chunk of what I'm making, right?
Right.
In reality, the mortgage lender is making $6,000 to $10,000 on that transaction. You should be paying me.
Yeah.
Why? Because without me, the
You wouldn't
customer
have
would have
that
never
deal.
qualified for a home.
Yeah.
So it's like you're not gonna sit here and tell me that I should give you $200 out of the measly 1.5 that I'm making, but you're not gonna give me anything out of the 6,000 you're making.
No, I totally understand.
So not only is it illegal for me to give you a kickback and for you to give me a kickback, it's
Right.
just, oh, I'm not. At first I was like, yo, I feel like I'm gonna get some pushback. Bro, mortgage lenders don't give a fuck. They're worried about how fast can I get this client into a home so I can get my 1.5 to 2% commission.
Right.
Real estate agents are worried about how can I get this person into a home so I can get my 4% commission.
Right.
I'm worried about no fucking $200, man.
Gotcha. Okay, perfect. No, I love that. But yeah, basically, I was even thinking of a lead compensation structure depending on like how many leads.
Now, there's something that I am working on, which it's more like for every client that I get from a real estate agent and a loan officer, I allocate some money on the back end. And at the end of the year, like I'll probably host like a big ass barbecue and just invite all of them
Right.
with the amount of money that I would have compensated them.
Do you only focus on people in New York since you go in New York?
Yeah, I only do New York. I think it gets too complicated when you do other states because then you have to meet the licensing requirements, the bonding requirements, and it's just it's a hassle, bro. Plus, I feel like there's enough people in New York where what there's like 9 million people in New York. I don't need 9 million clients, man. Bro, if I can just get 100,000 clients, I'll be set for the rest of my life. So
That's
it's like it doesn't make sense. So I feel like if I just focus on New York, I can just make my messaging a lot more clearer.
dude, you should just run ads on New York then.
I do. I just run ads in New York. That's why you haven't seen my ads because you're not in New York.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I run ads. I spend $20 a day on ads right now.
You what?
It's not a lot. It's not a lot. I spend $20 a day on ads in New York
Okay, through Facebook ads and stuff like
through
that.
Facebook ads, and I only run New York. There's nothing else.
No,
Nothing
okay.
else. Like if plus New York has this cool law that is not in any other country, where if a charge off is paid off, it gets removed on the credit off the credit report in 5 years instead of 7.5. Plus, you can combine that with early exclusion rules within the bureaus to get it out a little bit earlier. I'll give you a perfect example. If a client has had a Chase account charged off, and the last payment was let's say 4.5 years ago, right? The
Mhm.
date of last payment was 4.5 years ago. And you settle that Chase account, like we mentioned earlier, for 20 cents on the dollar, right? You can, the second, in New York only, it's called New York State Purge Law. In New York City, I don't know if it's New York City or state. I don't worry about New York City, man. In New York City, um, in New York City, the second that the charged off account is paid off, it moves it from 7 years from the date of first delinquency to 5 years,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
Internally, every bureau has what's known as early exclusion rules, which is like goodwill things that they do. So, for example, TransUnion will remove an item off your credit report as a goodwill 6 months before it's supposed to come off.
Nice.
Equifax will do it 90 days. Experian, like they're fucking assholes, 30
Of course
days.
they are.
So that's why in my system settlement is the last part, because if a charged off account was charged off in what 2019, which is not that far ago,
Yeah.
TransUnion, I can have the client pay the account off, and then I can call TransUnion and I can tell them, hey, look, New York State purge law, it moves it down to 5. I was wondering if you could do an early exclusion and just get this item removed earlier. So I can technically get an item removed that's paid off 4.5 years before. I mean, 4.5 years after that date of last payment. Or after date of first delinquency, not last payment.
Right. No. So as soon as the account gets charged off.
So as soon as it gets into delinquency, from my understanding.
Yeah. By the way, yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
So that's why I only deal with New York, man. Like
That's awesome. Dude,
I
that's
just
smart.
fuck everything else, but I have enough fish in the sea in just New York.
Okay, so here's the deal. Send me people who ever hit you up for credit repair they are not in New York.
In New York? Yeah.
Send them my way.
I'll send them your way, man. I have no problem.
Beautiful. And then I want to share this because obviously since we're sharing
But then man, but you're in Cali, bro. Cali's a bitch. Cali's a bitch. I think it's 100,000 bond requirement, man.
By the way, here I want to show you guys this. So is your social security number a
You
bank
see?
account? The claim that social security
You're
number
gonna
can
pull
be
my
used as a
hairline back.
valid account number to make purchases is false based on your research.
Uh-huh.
The Fed debunked the claim on numerous occasions. It is not possible for an individual to have an account with the federal government, obviously. And then again, I have AI software that runs shit and gets multiple sources. So no, your social security number is not a bank account. It is a unique number designed by the United States government for identification purposes, such as tracking your earnings and benefits for social security and other government programs. There's a myth circulating the internet that suggests the social security number is linked to a secret bank account with the Federal Reserve, but this claim is false and has been debunked by fact checkers. In reality, social security is by government and financial purposes. Type of program. Okay, yeah. So same shit we know. So yeah. So no, so that doesn't exist, you guys. I'm super sorry to burst the bubble, but yeah, whatever they're claiming here, that's not how
people spend so much time learning that
and
learn how to fix your own
memorizing
credit.
it.
Learn how to fix your credit. Like bro, if you
learn how fucking the banking system works.
bro, like
Jesus Christ.
Oh, man, it's so fucking disgusting. I swear, man.
They're goofy. I love the determination, but oh my goodness. And that's I tell the bank underwriting. So actually, so again, I know you said Edgar said that that you can't have access to underwriters. So because I have a social media marketing agency, I've been able to get in contact with a lot of underwriters. This is one of my marketing campaigns that I have. I want to get connected with as many underwriters as humanly possible. Because I actually, but not because I want to understand their frame of thinking, like their mindset, like I was telling you guys. Why? Because I want to actually genuinely help people understand how to build a successful corporation for you guys to actually get the financing that you guys need, right? So that you guys can start thinking like a bank. And that's what I've always preached for years. Like you always got to put yourself in the position of the bank. If you were to be the one lending out like a shit ton of money, dude, you know how much due diligence you would do? I'm pretty sure you'll want a blood sample from these for whoever you lend money to, you know? Like so don't you think the banks are gonna want to go ahead and do the same, like obviously get as much information about you. This leads back to the whole no PG thing I was telling you about earlier. Like, dude, get out of here. No, hardly any financial bank is not going to want to do a no PG. It would make no financial sense for them to do so. Like it would just increase risk. It makes
just increase risk and shit, man. For a few points, it wouldn't even make sense sometimes.
right.
The people that send you on Instagram, man, put it up on the screen. There's another one of those bozos. Yo, and I think it's gotten to the point where they're just suggesting it to me, bro. Like, if you notice it says suggested for you, because I be clicking them and I be reading it, and I be like, yo, this is so dumb.
Hold up. Save image as. Let's see if I can make this. Hold up. Let me see if I can make this like a full screen thing.
Bro, it's so fucking dumb. Fucking swear, man.
There we go.
It's not showing on screen. It's not showing on screen.
Oh yeah, I got you. Hold up. Let me go ahead and make this bigger. Okay. Here we go, you guys. So I apologize for anybody listening to this on
Bozo.
but here we go. All right. Ignoring the person. All right. Oh, I haven't paid rent either. Why is it's prepaid in full? Did she make a full payment in front? What the fuck happened? Did they have the collateral security for payment of rent? Just enforce your authority and power over your name because it's your exemption. You just have to claim it. They've been claiming to evict. Well, I'll be ready. First of all, Jesus Christ, syntax and grammar. Okay, they've been claiming to evict. Well, I be ready when they decide. My lease expired in April 2023. My last eviction was settled from the public, so we will see what they do this time if and when they're ready to catch these equitable hands. Dude, first of all, I hate people that take advantage of the law to be like squatters, bro. I fucking hate.
Bro, you're squatting. Just say you're a squatter. Just say you're a squatter.
I hate that so much.
You don't gotta go through, bro.
I don't even understand what she's claiming here. Like, I really don't even understand the logic here.
I think she's basically saying that the agreement that has your name on it is the collateral for the payment.
How is it's a paper collateral for month? Like,
I'm assuming because it has your name. Bro, look, why?
So therefore, we should be able to place a collection on your credit report because your name is your social security number.
Bro, I don't even fucking know, man. But it's just this is what grinds my gears so much, bro. It's like people, and if you look at the comments, oh, bro,
so many loves and likes.
Look at that, bro. 111 shares, bro.
And we have your face right there, like what?
Yeah, exactly. But let me go on Facebook. Let me go on Facebook and talk about how to sell your debt for 40, 50, 60, 70% off. Get one share. Like, or what? Man.
What? You're not teaching how to defraud the government? Fuck you.
Yeah, fuck you, Edgar. Fuck you. Bro, that doesn't. Yo, imagine being on the other side of this. Like, imagine being a landlord and seeing that on Facebook, and that's your tenant. Yo, I would shut my laptop off.
Bro, dude, you know what would be funny? If we should make it business idea. Whoever wants to create an AI software for tenant screening to go see all social media activity to see what leads they have, boom, and then whether it would be a risk for them to be able to do it. Because these people have like a pattern of being squatters. Right. If there was if there was a collection of there was a credit bureau that kept records of squatting and evictions and stuff like that, that'd be cool. Yeah. Which I mean, there's rent reporters. There's like companies that serve that, but I don't know how efficient it is because I've never seen a report based on that.
I think it wouldn't be that accurate only because, bro, like I think people aren't over here talking. Like posting on social media. I think it's only those clowns. I'm calling those ass clowns that go and post that on social media. Like if I'm getting evicted, I'm not talking about it. I'm not posting it on social media.
Yeah, I'm not bragging about it.
Shorty's on with her chest out, like, yo, I'm getting evicted, and my lease been over for 6 months already. Like,
how is that good? That is so dumb.
You're like, oh, it's prepaid in full. Yeah, so why is the balance still there?
Right? Why are you getting evicted then?
Why are you getting evicted then? I thought it was prepaid in full. Oh, man.
People are goofy. All right, last thing we need to talk about. Finally, I-10, bro.
Sure. Finally, man. Yo, I have this thing I'm cooking up, man. I'm super excited for. It's kind of like, so I'm always thinking, right? Because one of the best clients that I get are ITIN clients. Why? Because ITIN clients are 100% profit margins, right?
How?
For
Okay, wait, is this for funding or is this for credit repair?
credit building. The thing is, usually people who have ITINs, they don't know that they can get credit with it. They don't know that they can
That's
establish
cool.
banking relationships with. So they never go ahead and do apply for any credit.
Okay, okay. So just to make sure everybody listening, Edgar, do you only help people, still New York people with ITIN numbers, or
Yes.
just everybody?
Well, I say hold up. I mean, I've only been focusing on
New
New
York.
York. I do have this lady in Philly, but I never signed her up as a client, right? Because like I said, this is something that I'm working on right now. Mostly like the ITIN things have been like word of mouth, so it's been in New York. Now, I wonder if I can help people in other states without violating CROA, because technically you're still under CROA, just because CROA states that if you're bounded by CROA if you're giving someone advice on how to improve their credit scores. You're bounded by CROA automatically. But I don't know if you're still bounded to like have the licensing requirements and the bonding requirements. But that's why I said, man, I focus on New York. Well, bro, literally, I live um I live a couple of blocks away from Roosevelt. Roosevelt, for me, you can ask Eddie, man. Eddie was with me in Roosevelt like a couple of months ago, like maybe like a month ago. Bro, all you see there is people who came from other countries who have no papers, right?
Right.
So
Which, by the way, I need to interject. I was so pissed off. I saw it on his Instagram that he went to New York and he did not fucking tell me. I was like, what the fuck? We've
it
been
was
going to
like
New
2
York.
days ago.
We were going to New York twice, like together every single time. And then all of a sudden you're like, fucking pop up. Thanks, asshole, for telling me.
Yeah, right.
But okay, I digress. Keep going. Okay,
So
so you're showing
so
him the ghetto. Okay.
I'm sure it's not the ghetto. Nah, but yeah, it's everybody who's immigrated is there, right? So for me, unlike in other like states, like in other states, like other credit repair companies, they'll see like a 90-10 split on social security numbers and ITINs to the point where they barely see anybody with an ITIN. In where I'm from, in the area that I'm from, I see a lot of ITINs. So for me, it kind of became something where it's like maybe I can niche my audience down a little bit more
There is a blue
and just
ocean
focus
for
on the
you. Yeah.
ITIN.
There's a blue ocean for you to make right there.
Yeah, because it's like it's not like for example, other people don't want like they don't need to learn how to do credit repair on ITIN
Right.
because they see one ITIN for every 10 social clients. Me, on the other hand, yeah, I see a lot of social clients, but then it's like a 70-30 split.
Right.
And if I can go and just focus on that 30% and
Right.
just become like an expert in those 30%, that's a big opportunity for me. Especially because it's literally a block down from my house. Like that strip is a block down from my house. So it got me thinking. I was like, okay, what's like the biggest pain points? It goes back to $100 million offers. Like, how can I solve all the pain points to charge a premium? Right. First of all, uh, one, able to build ITIN clients credit because I understand what banks work with ITIN. I understand how to apply for certain banks to get them approved with an ITIN, and all of that. Two, if it comes down to credit repair, because of the nature of how I do credit repair now, um, I can do credit repair on people with ITINs.
Because
And
you're
at
just
first,
outsourcing it anyways. Outsourcing it
what
anyways.
happened? It's not
Because you're
even just because I'm
outsourcing it.
outsourcing. It's not even just because of the outsourcing. Because think about it. I can't pull a credit report from Smart Credit or Identity IQ or
Okay.
any of those companies,
Correct. So
right?
how do you
So
check the
then
credit?
it got me thinking. And most hold up. Oh, the my internet is acting up. Can you see me?
Yeah, I can see it.
Oh, the mine's all right. So it got me thinking because it was one of my iTunes clients that I got,
Mhm.
and at first I thought it was a referral. So at first I thought it was it's a social client. I'll go through the regular process. We'll pull the smart credit together. We'll go over it. When I was pulling the smart credit, I was like, I asked her, was your social? She was like, oh, I have an iTunes. So I was like, ah. So then I did the regulars. I asked the questions. It, she was one of those clients that was like, "Oh yeah, I have like one late payment," and then turns out they have fucking 30 charge-offs. So it got me thinking. I was like, if I can find out how to do credit repair, like go through the dispute process with somebody with an ITIN, then that's a really big money making opportunity for me.
Mhm.
Because other people, like you've been in the space. If you can't pull an IDIQ or a smart credit or my score IQ, they don't know what to do. They
Right.
they're just used to those the software is generating the letters based on the credit report that's getting gone from there, right?
Mhm.
So now I was thinking, I was like, can you do credit repair on an ITIN client? And then I was like, wait a minute, those softwares they came out those all those softwares, IDIQ, Smart Credit, they all came out around 2008, right? 2007, 2008. And I know this because some lady called Donna Perkins, who's been doing credit repair for 20 plus years, right? Not as old as Shar. She was telling us, she was like, before we didn't have credit monitoring software. So we really had to ask the right questions over the phone. So then it got me thinking. I was like, well, if the only thing was that, so before you had to do credit repair the manual way without having a credit report.
Right.
So with an ITIN client, there's only two ways to get a credit report. One, you write a letter to all the bureaus,
Mhm.
or two, you work with a mortgage lender. And a mortgage lender can get the ex actis report from ex actis or whatever,
Mhm.
and it's not a tri-merge credit report in the sense that we're used to seeing it, but it's a credit report. And because the lady I outsourced to Shar, I asked her, I was like, can you do credit repair just manually if I was to get you the mortgage report? And she was like, yeah, that's how we've been doing credit repair for years, like longer than we've been doing it with the softwares. So as long as you get that credit report, you're able to just get the information, put it into the letters, and send them out. And
So
they'll
a
still,
mortgage report, because it is completely different than a regular identity IQ report.
uh-huh,
Yep.
but it has all the information you need. The name of the account, the original furnisher, it has the account number, it has who is it reporting to, and all of that.
Mhm. Yeah, they have to.
So
They have to have that.
So that's how you do credit repair on ITIN clients.
Okay.
But that's
So
one.
that's how you find the report for identity for I. So
Uh-huh.
actually, I want to show you this actually. I think you would. Let me. Here we go. Where is this? My. So I looked into this obviously because you can, yeah, like you said, you can call the credit bureaus and ask us for that. You can also make an account with the credit bureaus, right?
Only one of them with ITIN, only Equifax lets you do it.
that's what I was going to share my screen
Yeah.
for. So I'm
Equifax.
on my Equifax right now, and
Mm-hmm.
Equifax is the one
Uh-huh.
that allows you to do the ITIN number right there, you guys.
Uh-huh.
TransUnion, no, and Experian, no, correct?
No. No, but you can still check your score using banking apps. Like you can check
Like Credit Sesame and stuff like that.
no. Those don't work. So Sesame, Karma, none of those work with ITIN.
I don't use them, so I'm just
Yeah.
that's all I do.
So one, it's TransUnion FICO 8 through Bank of America.
Yeah.
Experian FICO 8 through American Express. Equifax FICO 4 through Digital Credit Union. Equifax Vantage 3.0
What
through
can you make an account with my FICO? Would they do it?
check
How much-
check the. I don't
You
think you
know,
can.
because
Let me
here's
see.
because here's the deal.
I mean, I would pay $40 any day.
Hell yeah, I would pay $40 for that
Let
too.
me see my FICO
So
for that credit report. Again. That's the best one. Let me see.
so sign up. I'll have let's see. Let me see if I can just Google it. Does my
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Holy shit. I think it's a yes.
Oh wow, there's a Reddit. I just registered. I had to
Yeah.
and approved for those of us who actually had to get a credit score. Until now was my Equifax, my FICO free plan pulls from Equifax. Too sadly, we get a FICO score at advantage. Oh, and there's a free plan for my FICO?
Yeah. Oh. Yeah, there is.
Really?
Yeah, there is.
Oh, free plan. One bureau and is Equifax. So if
Yeah.
it works with one bureau, it should work with Premier.
Yeah.
Hold up.
Yeah.
Ah.
You see that? Yeah, I'm telling you.
So I don't know if it works for all three, but here it definitely says that it works with that one, which is Equifax,
Yeah.
and you get a FICO score. Ah, perfect. Yo, you see, it's just small things like this, man. Now I know how to get FICO 8 scores.
There you go. Okay, so
Um,
because yeah, it says right here, Vantage score for my FICO, you can get it with a FICO with for Equifax.
uh-huh.
So we can get a my FICO account a premium for $40 a month for our clients.
I
For
want so now I'll try that with a client that I have right now. I want to see if the premium, if she could sign up for the premium
premium,
version,
fuck yeah.
I might have to do the free version first just to get the account up and running and then upgrade it to
Yeah,
the
well,
premium.
you should try to see how many clients with items are willing to do it, and
Mhm.
then that way, and try to incentivize it to do it. And then for one of them, help them sign up for the free account first, and then upgrade, and then have another one just go ahead and go straight to
And
the
do the whole thing, yeah. Yo, the way that I operate, bro, I'm willing to pay for that shit just to for
yeah.
the information. Like I will pay
Yes, dude,
$40.
because if you can get that, you already solved the biggest issue.
Bro,
Boom.
that means, bro, that means I get all the FICO scores, which is good, which is cool for the
Right.
client. But what I was really thinking is this is what I think is gonna be the moneymaker on like in a couple of years, couple of months maybe. Um, do you know the process of getting an ITIN number?
I am working on that right now. I'm
Okay, so
getting an ITIN number for a client right now. And this is what
so
I also wanted to talk to you about it because I've called CPAs, tax advisors. I try to call multiple different companies on how to go. Some companies that you pay them like $150, $200 to get it, they don't want to disclose to you until you actually pay them first to be a client, and then they're going to tell you how it works. But
yeah,
I didn't want to do that. And they said like, oh, you get it in 10 weeks but then because okay, so this is my logic. So this is what I know so far. According to all the people I've talked to, an
mhm,
ITIN, what is an ITIN? It's to pay taxes.
yeah,
That's
that's
what it
all.
is for. Okay. As an individual taxpayer identification number. So when do they issue ITINs is when you pay your taxes.
Mhm,
Okay. So for example, let's say you come to America for the first time ever. You get a visa, a working visa, whatever it is. When you apply to work, you just they submit that to the IRS, and then they create an ITIN for you. Usually when even the tax attorney or tax attorney told me, like even when you come and work in America, you may not even get an ITIN right away, even when you start working. Not until after a year, you have to submit tax returns for the amount of money that you made, and then you go ahead and like pay taxes on that, and you're paying taxes technically as a sole proprietor. because that's usually what a lot of immigrants work as anyways. And then a lot of people with W-2s wouldn't hire ITINs right away, especially if they don't have a social security number right away, right? For payroll purposes. So you would pay taxes, right? Because you haven't paid taxes all this time. And then what happens is that once you pay the tax, so for example, you submit the tax return. Hey, I made $20,000 this year. Okay, perfect. Then the IRS is going to go, okay, cool. Therefore, you owe us X amount of money. Okay, your bill is $500, whatever it may be. And then you pay the $500, and then when you make the payment, and all that time they're generating the ITIN number. And since it's the IRS, it takes a really long time. It can take 3 months to over a year for you to finally get the ITIN. And then some ITINs have an expiration date as well. So sometimes you have to keep renewing your ITIN every single year. And sometimes you may not even have your ITIN of last year because it's taking so long for you to start filing for the new ITIN. It's the fucking craziest shit ever. But
it's so much.
So guess what I did? Again, I hope I'm not going to get in trouble for saying this out loud in a recording, but this is what we did for a client. I told a tax person, I don't even want to say who it was because again, I just don't want them to get in legal trouble. And we said that they were my client is living in America, and that he came in last year, the beginning first day of last year, and that he made $5,000 or something like that. Just a very small number, not too small, because he said like if it's too small, the IRS is gonna be like, why are you filing taxes for this? It's too small. But not big enough for him to have to pay a big bill, right?
Exactly.
Right, tax bigs. And I'm only doing this because again, I had someone that I gave money to, or that we hired to do this, and they completely took the money and they didn't do it. So this is why now I have to do learning in-house again, control of my business, and before I want to outsource it again. But basically, we submitted that. So if they had to actually ship their passport from their country to my house, I gave them my home address and everything. I was like, fuck it, I owe it to this person. Like he got fucked over by that business partner. And I told them I'll pay your tax bill for whatever. Don't worry about it. And so I think I'm gonna have to pay like $200 to $300 in taxes once the IRS gets that form. If we filed an ITIN form, the tax advisor said, yeah, we did taxes for him.
And did you ship the passport to the IRS?
We shipped the passport to the IRS, yes, because he said that recently he's been seeing that they get faster response rates from the IRS within 2 to 3 months instead of like the 11 months that they would see if they would just send copies of the passport. Now they're actually sending the physical passport, and they actually will get it still fairly back. So my client got a anytime mailbox in Texas as his home address of here in the United States, and that can get sent over to, so his passport is going to get sent to his PO box, which is going to get mailed to his home, and his ITIN number card will also get sent over to his home. So hopefully that would generate so it will generate the bill. I'll pay the tax bill, like the $200, $300, $400 that it's going to cost me, and then it's going to go ahead, and then he's eventually going to get the ITIN number. So that's currently how we're doing it. If you have any way on any other method that could be potentially faster, or I want to hear your method, I would love to.
There's something I'm working on. I've never, like, you're further in the process than I am, of generating an ITIN, right? Like I've done a lot of work with people who already have an ITIN,
right?
But my biggest like bottleneck right now is like, okay, how can I get someone who's never had an ITIN to get an ITIN? From what I've researched, there's this title assigned from the IRS known as a CAA. The reason why I asked you if you mailed the password to the IRS is because if you were to work with a CAA, which is a certified administrator agent, something like that. Don't quote me on the definition of the acronym.
Okay, so CAA in the IRS.
Yeah, so you can I'll Google it right now. It's IRS CAA, and it is
a certified
acceptance agent, right? And what a certified acceptance agent is somebody trained by the IRS to be able to verify if documents are legitimate or not.
Oh my God, that makes sense.
So if you were to work with a CAA, you don't have to send the passport over to the IRS. You can send your stamp. Boop.
What do you mean your
You,
stamp?
you basically certify a piece of paper that says you're a CAA and you verify the passport.
Oh. Like she got on a Zoom call probably and verified the passport.
Yeah, like you can verify the passport on a Zoom call, right?
Yeah.
I think technically it has to be in person, but I don't think they verify. But I'm in the process of either becoming a CAA because from my research, the CAA program got shut down, not shut down, but stalled last year. And there's no communication whether or not it got approved or not, right? Um,
What do you mean? What do you mean? Like the CAA program got closed down?
so you can Google it. Like if you Google to try to become a CAA, one of the first articles you'll see is that it got stopped.
Oh, the certification program got stopped, but
It
there's
got
still
put on hold.
CAAs active right now.
Yeah, their CAA is already active who already got certified prior. But so I'm working on something else on New Leaf right now. So after I'm done with that, that's when I want to focus on this. But from my understanding, it was supposed to only be for the year 2022. But there's no new article that's come out saying that the program has reinstated again. So
Gotcha.
if I'm able to become a CAA, I won't have to ship somebody's passport out because then I run the risk of the UPS or the IRS losing the passport, and then the customer doesn't care that they lost it. They're gonna blame you.
Yeah.
And if it's somebody here, like the person you're working with is cool because they can just go down to their consular and get another passport.
Right.
Here, it's a little bit harder because that's the only identification they have.
Right. Right. Okay. So what does it take in order to become a CAA?
Bro, I haven't even, bro, you just have to fill out a form. You have to fill out a form and you have to, I think you have to answer a questionnaire. I think it's like a manual that you have to read, and then you have to answer a questionnaire, submit all that paperwork, and it's like a $250 fee.
What?
If I was to become a CAA, I'll be able to stamp my name on a document that says I verified this passport, and I won't have to send that passport out. So I'll be able to do all of that, and I'll be trained to how to fill out a W-7 form so the W-7 form doesn't get denied. Which, if it gets denied, it slows down the process. So what I'm thinking is if I could become a CAA and have this program where somebody can come in with no comes into this country with no credit, no ITIN, I can charge them upfront to get the ITIN number. Then once I have the ITIN number, I can build their credit at the same time. At that point, that would be like a $2,000 program, right?
Right. So
And
you're
the
trying to become the CAA so you can apply for them to get the ITIN as quickly as
as
possible.
quickly as
But
possible.
okay, but okay. So when you apply to be to the ITIN, is it you still have to file a tax return, or you can just get them?
I'm not 100% sure about that. So what I want to do is I want to contact the because all the CAAs are on the IRS website. So you can find all the CAAs in your area and you can contact them. Those would be the best people to work with in your situation. Because I don't know if you ever seen like these sites like there's this site.
Yo, because
Get
I just
ITIN.
told you I have a marketing agency and I can run a marketing campaign to find CAAs. And I can
You don't need to. It's
contact,
on the IRS website.
but you can actually call them instead.
They have their number and their address.
Oh,
Everything.
beautiful. Okay, perfect.
Yeah, so I'm gonna send you this link, right? And it's
All right.
uh
So, beginning of August 15, 2022, the IRS will impose a moratorium on the acceptance agent program to
until the end
last
of the
until the
year.
end of the year. So that was already last year.
Yeah, so
In
but then
place.
there's no communication as to whether it came back.
So
That's my
yeah.
problem. I can send this email to support at Sky Enterprise.
Yeah, support at Skywalker Enterprise. Let me know when you see
Uh,
it because
I send it right now. ITIN link. I'm gonna send you two item links, which is two companies that I'm trying to look at their sites and I'm trying to reverse engineer what they do because these two companies they have two completely separate offers. I just send it to you right now. Both of these sites they claim to be able to do the item process 100% online. So me, I'm a big fan of reverse engineering, how people do shit.
Right.
So I was like, if they can do the process completely online, then how are they doing it? And that's how I figured out. I put it into ChatGPT, and I was like, if I want to start this process, whatever. ChatGPT was the one who was like, oh, you will have to become a CAA agent. So then I started looking into CAAs, and I just went down this whole rabbit hole, right? So there's one of them, right? Like the second link that I sent you.
The
Uh,
the first link you sent me is a fucking funnel. Yes.
which bro, but it's a fucking great funnel.
And then
The
the
second link, it's also the second link is also a funnel. Maybe not. No, it's a whole site. So look,
it's a
the
web.
second one, it has a lot of upsells. So
Yeah.
the item application, they charge $348, a one-time fee, right?
So
And
yeah,
look
do you see my screen? I'm sharing it.
yeah, perfect. Look at what they're offering you. A US bank account consultation, which is just get our guide and support to open your S bank account from one of our banking partners of Mercury, Brex, or Relay 5.
That's
That
so
bro,
fun.
they're giving you the sauce right there. Those are the three banks.
No,
But
yeah. Oh yeah, well, there's other ones.
Bank of America.
Bank of America. I think Harpreet did TD Bank.
Yeah, TD Bank might be able to. So
Yeah.
now what's the other one? A 30-minute kickoff call. The other one is
Taxation and call. Okay.
the other one is Stripe and PayPal consultation. And then the other one is fully online process. So unlike any other tax provider, process is 100% online without having to ship any documents to the US. That's 348. Keep going down. Look what the upsells are.
Yeah. So
Which is what you do on a regular basis if you're doing business funding.
yeah, I know how to set up the LLCs. I know how to set up the EINs. I know how to get
And that's $298. Remember, this is all profit.
Well, the LLC. So again, you've got to still tell them. Plus, there's filing fees for that.
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm talking about the first half. The first half is all profit. The upsell is not all profit because there's, like you said, there's the filing fees and all of that, right? So then that's one.
A US
Those two, those I really wouldn't focus on that. Like the US SIM card.
Well, you can. So people from the UK are very known to buy US SIM cards that you can just buy on Amazon and stuff like that or online.
But this is more because I think their target audience are people from outside the US. My
Correct.
target audience will be for people already in the US.
In the United States, yeah.
Yeah. So it's like this is what got me intrigued. Because I was like, they're charging $348 to get somebody a fucking item.
Dude, no, Edgar, I'm gonna tell you a little bit thing, and you're thinking great, and especially because you're in New York, bro. I would love to partner up with you in this, and this is why. You're thinking I want to help all the people that are in New York already, right?
Mm-hmm.
Get ready for this. This is where you're missing the connection. Market all the people outside of the United States who have a shit ton of money.
Yeah, like in Dubai and shit, right?
Dubai, Mexico, Ecuador, anywhere. Because think about it. If you make friends with those or have connections, oh yeah, I can go ahead and bring your business to the United States. And I can get you into the credit system in the best system in the world, which is the United States credit system. Because here's the deal: a lot of companies want businesses in the United States. You know why? Because the dollar is the best currency to have. I had clients that someone fucked over that he was from Argentina, and Argentina's dollar is just dropping by the second, right? It's getting devalued. So why? is because of inflation. They have hyperinflation. So the reason why he wanted to have a business in the United States was because they just wanted that the money coming into the business was not getting devalued by the second, right?
Mhm.
So you can have people who are making good, solid money, because here's the deal. A lot of the people with ITINs, unfortunately, who are coming into the United States, they're either coming here illegally or they're coming here because they were in
Seeking asylum.
what was that?
Seeking asylum, I think.
Seeking asylum, thank you. That was what I was looking for. And so, even in my community here in San Diego, there's a lot of people at ITINs because Mexican Americans are coming into the country illegally and illegally,
Mhm.
right? And so they don't usually, like, they're very scared of anything to do with credit in the United States because they don't understand how it works. So
Mhm.
it's like dealing with a clientele like that is a very strong hassle. Dealing with people in another language is a very strong, even in English and Spanish. Like I'm conversational fluent in Spanish. I can have a full conversation and I don't sound like mucho or anything like that.
Mhm.
But once I start talking finances and credit and the banking system, then they can tell like, holy shit, he's not fluent in Spanish, because I never had formal education in Spanish. I just had
Mhm.
conversational education in Spanish. So all of a sudden I sound way less educated, right? So if I were to deal with someone, I would rather deal with somebody who is a foreigner who has a great education, who speaks English and has multiple businesses, and they're multi-millionaire in Mexico and
Mhm.
Colombia and whatever, and they want to start businesses and buy real estate in the United States, and then you help them bring that and help them up and work with an immigration officer to apply for an investor visa. And at the same time, before they even apply for the investor visa, while they're doing that, you're already registering with the IRS here in the United States, getting them an ITIN number, setting the LLC, the EIN number, setting them the bank account, getting them a personal US phone number. Dude, you could be charging anywhere from 25K to 50K for that,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah, especially if you're talking people from like outside the US.
Right. With
Mhm.
that type of money. Now you need a network to support that, but you need, like, eventually we can get there. And that's what I'm telling you. And especially since
Mhm.
you're in New York, and if we get you like New York bankers, like legit, like fucking Chase, like this guy only deals with Walt Disney,
Mhm.
Amazon, and thus is his clientele, then we can go ahead and yeah, we can make a fat difference, bro. Like we can
Mhm.
make fat money.
What I was thinking is, right, like just getting the ITIN, building their credit, and then also becoming a mortgage loan officer, and then getting them property using like there's a specific type of loan that you
Yes,
don't
but
have to
they
show
have
any
to
income
put
for.
30% down. They have
Yeah,
to.
20% down, 20, but you don't have to show any income.
What do you mean you don't know? You don't have to show any income?
Because if the property, if the numbers add up, like if your mortgage could be supported by the income being produced by the house, you don't have to show any income for those type of loans.
Oh, a DCR loan.
Yeah, the DC, yeah, DCR loans. You still have to put the 20% down.
Yeah, but it won't be financed. Oh yeah, because they don't check the credit score.
I mean, even at that, the client will have
They
a good
don't check.
credit
I
score.
don't think they check. Dude, I don't think they check. I mean, I haven't gone through.
But even at that, the client's gonna have a good credit score because we'll build their credit score up. So that maybe we can get the 20% down on like a business funding side. On the business funding side, put that down as the down payment for the home. And then now we're making money on the on getting the EIN, on building the credit, and we're making money on the 1.5% of the property cost
Mm, mm.
from a mortgage side.
So you okay? Become a CAA, become a mortgage lender.
Uh-huh.
Um, help people get the items, help them build credit. It should take you
6 months, six
six,
to eight
six,
months.
6 to a year, let's say.
Yeah, let's say 6 to a year.
And then go ahead and if they actually make solid money, because you can have a lot of immigrants or like construction workers start their own company and fucking like,
Yeah, and
they're
you make
hustlers.
solid money.
Yeah, and then you can help them. Oh well, you don't even have to have the income, as they just need to have the money to be able to put the down payment.
To put the down payment and to
But you
find the
want to
right
go
property.
and do funding for them so that they can get the business credit in order to get the down payment for the house.
Uh-huh.
And as long as it's gonna be cash flowing, but I mean, like we're talking about fucking like if it's gonna be, you know, cash flowing, it needs to be what like a duplex, triplex, fourplex.
Yeah, it would have to be something that's outside like New York. Like it
Yeah,
wouldn't
but
be.
that would be like, dude, that would be like if $1 million property, they will have to put like $200,000.
Uh-huh.
I getting $200,000 in credit, business credit on someone who's only had credit for 6 months, that's
And
insane.
but
That's
what about we don't do like a $2 million property? What if we just do like a $200,000 property?
and we do $40,000.
40,000.
It could be
Shouldn't be
possible.
bad. Because you have access to Chase and Amex.
Well, they're still gonna have to pay that off. Like if even if you get them 0% business credit for 12 months, if they want to pay that $40,000, they'll still have to make their mortgage. Oh, I mean, it's gonna cash flow. So the only minimum thing that they have to focus is on the $40,000 that they gotta pay
Uh-huh.
in 1 year. So they've
And
got
then what if we would get like beat up properties? What if we would get beat up properties and renovate them? We put the 20% down through business credit, and then when we renovate them, as a matter of fact, I'm not sure if do you have to show income for a 203K loan?
so.
What's
Well, the thing is that the whole point of the DSCR loans, I'm pretty sure, is that they have to be turnkey ready
mm,
because
okay.
they have to be livable.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure because then what's the whole point of getting a DSCR loan if you're going to refinance it in 3 months, 6 months?
That's true. That's
So what you would want to do in that case, well, here we go. Um, okay, so this is what you're going to want to do then. Then you're going to want to go ahead and yeah, you wouldn't be able. No, bro, you wouldn't be able to do that. Mm-mm. You would want to do. Yeah, they're going to have to do an I-10 thing.
true.
It's going to have to put 30% down. And then they're going to have enough money capital to then renovate the property because I don't think there's a builder okay, so each loan has a builder program attached to it. So for example, FHA, it's a 203K loan.
Okay.
The VA, there's a builder program for the VA as well,
Okay.
to my knowledge. I don't think there's a builder program for DSCR loans. I might be wrong, but I have a mortgage lender. We can interview them too. Um, the next thing would be, yeah, dude, because I don't think the I-10 program has a builder program attached to it.
So then we would have to find people who are actually making money.
So we would just have to find a hard money lender to do that deal.
Hmm.
A hard
Hard
money
money.
lender to do the deal. They go ahead and renovate the property. They're fucking construction workers, maybe. Like, find people with I-10s who are construction workers. Have them. We can set.
To renovate their own crib.
One of the LLCs we set up for them is a real estate investment company
Mhm.
or a construction company. Most likely a real estate investment company. It will be a real estate investment company because with a construction company, they're going to have to be licensed.
Mhm.
So we don't want to do that. Or it's just going to be harder to get the permits for that. Real estate investment company, they can renovate the property. It takes them 3 to 6 months. And then the value of the property went up. It needs to be sufficient where if we take a refi and we leave 20% of the property value in there, 80% of it has to cover the following. The first mortgage has to cover the down payment and it has to cover the refi cost.
Okay.
So as long as it does that, and we can make the math, it could be very straightforward. Then we can refi to I'm pretty sure you can refi to a DSCR loan. or just a conventional.
Yeah, because then the only reason we're doing DSCR in the first place was to not show any income.
Yeah. Yeah.
But at this point, it would just have to be people who are actually working in this country or working outside of the US and can show that income.
Well, no, because for a hard money lender,
Hmm.
it's just on the deal as well.
Ah,
But
okay.
it also the interest rate and the term rates that you get, it's based on how many deals you've done. And you have to
Yeah.
work with a hard money lender that will lend to the specific state and to a new inexperienced person. So
Oh,
probably the
okay.
first thing we can do is do a joint venture with a real estate investor already. That way they can get their first the LLC that we form for them, the real estate investment company we form for them is a has a track record with a hard money lender that they have experience doing real estate investing. Because that's what, so for example, how does a hard money lender know that you're a real estate investor and you've actually done deals and you know what you're doing is by the HUD. They give you, that when you buy a house, you have the HUD. So
Uh-huh.
so let me Google that way people listening. So HUD, uh all right, sorry. It's just basically the form that states that, okay, yeah, you bought in a property like this, right?
Okay.
So you have, so your name is on the paperwork. Okay, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, joint venture with this company and that company. Oh, and you're the owner of that company. Perfect, beautiful. All right, you have experience. So sometimes like they were like, oh, you need to must have done X amount of deals in the last 12 months. So for example, some hard money lenders are like, oh, for us to work with you, you need to have done 5 fix and flips in the last 12 months in these states,
Okay.
right? For us to, and then some of them are more like, no, yeah, you're brand new. Okay, will work with you, but your
The
interest rate
interest
is
rate
going
would
to
be
be
high.
here, more points, and your loan to value is going to be a little bit less, right?
Mhm.
Versus someone, and the person with more experience, their loan to value is greater. They're going to cover more expenses for them because it's safer for them to invest with you. So yeah, I would say, yeah, I think that would be the best option, bro, because it's hard with the item, dude.
Mhm. So
But
who would be the ideal client for this offer?
if it's gonna be people with items here in the United States, it would be people who are making a killing, like either construction workers, but like who are like they're hustlers. They're like they're going to work every single day. They're saving their money. They've been here for like 5 years already, and they got like they got the trocas, they got the trucks, they got the fucking house with their wife and the kids. They got that shit going on for them.
Uh-huh.
Um, because then you can help them set up that corporation. You can get them finance. You can even can you get SBA loans? I
Okay.
gotta check that. I wonder. Uh, SBA item. Because here's the deal. I need to get on a call with you and show you the entire SBA process and show you after this or during this call. I don't care. I don't. How much more time do you got left?
No, I'm actually getting tired, so probably like 20 more minutes, man.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Good. No worries.
I have a bunch of appointments tomorrow.
I'm starving too, so 20 more minutes. But let's get on a call either tomorrow or something because there's so many things I want to show you too. So yeah, so dude, there's crazy things. So I was talking to my commercial bank underwriter, the guy M&T lender and underwriter, and then my SBA
Mhm.
guy, and I was trying to understand when is the appropriate, because basically SBA and commercial banking they offer the same products. So I'm like, when is it beneficial to go to either one? When you go for commercial banking for business, like commercial banks, like a working capital loan, working line of credit loan, line of credit for working capital, equipment financing, whatever it is, SBA and just the bank can just offer those products for you for anybody. But they need to meet certain qualifications, and there's pros and cons to using either or. what SBA is Small Business Administration, is a government agency that is not there to protect the borrower, is there to protect the bank. So for example, when you hear that a loan is 50% guaranteed or 100% guaranteed or 85% guaranteed or backed by SBA, by the SBA program, that means that whatever money, let's say you borrow $100,000 from the bank through SBA loan, and let's say that loan is 50% guaranteed. If all of a sudden you just disappear with $100, like $100,000, and make no payments at all, the SBA, the government, will give the bank 50% of the outstanding balance, which would be 50,000. So it's an extra security risk. It's an extra collateral against that loan. So it's safer for the bank to underwrite those loans, right?
Mhm.
So this is why. What's the pros and cons? The pros for a commercial one is that it's the interest rate is lower. The terms are it's cheaper to borrow because there's origination fees, there's interest
Mhm.
rate, right? So it's cheaper to get a working capital loan from the bank, a commercial line of credit or commercial loan. But the requirements to qualify for that is a lot stricter. You have to have great personal credit. You have to have great financials. They're going to go through the entire underwriting process. And he's been showing me the beginning of it. And yeah, it's extensive. It's a quite extensive process, right? So for people who truly, truly qualify and they got their business shit in order and they got their personal life in order, just get the working capital loan straight from the bank. No SBA. But if you're like, hey, you're at a 680, you have a little bit of debts, you've been only in business for 2 to 3 years, right? And you're still figuring it out, then SBA, because SBA will since there's partial of payment guaranteed by the government, then the requirements is okay. You can have a little bit of a lower credit score. Your stuff cannot be, your finances on the business side may not be as ideal, but they're still profitable. We see business growth, and we still want to help you out. So so you can do acquisitions, you can do expansion deals, there's a lot of things that you can do in corporate business credit and SBA that they offer, but it just depends on where you're at in your business, right? And so basically, I had all the SBA requirements, the SOPs, and everything, and then I can send that to you. But it will be interested to find out if
If they qualify.
you can qualify if you have an item. Because here's the deal: for SBA, you want to know how it's still strict, bro. You need, for the personal side, you need 3 years of personal finances. So, sorry, 3 years of personal tax returns, a financial statement, a personal financial statement from every owner of the business, of the owner, like, or just that owner. You need to have, if it's for an existing business that has, like, if it's going to be a working capital loan or working line of credit for an existing business, it has to be 3 years of business tax returns as well, P&Ls, income sheets, cash flow statements, like everything you can think about. Debt schedule, like they're gonna check every crevice, bro, and every crack, everything. Like they're gonna check everything. If it's a new company, if it's gonna be a new venture, I did not know this because I thought SBA is like, oh, companies that are been for 2-3 years or longer. Dude, you can do, if you have great personal finances, so we can find people on the tech sector, like people who are coders and they're making fucking $300,000, right, a year. They've been doing it for 3 years, at least for 2 to 3 years. If we get them and they want to start purchase a company or start a company, all they're going to need on the business side is obviously set up the company, set it all correctly, which we can easily do. All they need is a business plan and 2 years of business projections, month to month.
Oh, wow.
So and I mean, like, projections, what are they? Made up.
Estimates.
They're made up. They're estimates. And guess what? He gave me templates for all of it. He gave me a template for all the questions they asked when reviewing a business plan so that we can specifically answer those questions. And then he also gave us a projections template. But I mean, like they're all blanked out because it depends on the industry. So what I'm thinking is, let's say, for example, let's say Airbnb. Just this is just an example. I'm not claiming Airbnb. If you want to start getting into Airbnb, go find a mentor, pay him money to mentor you. Now you have the education, but then guess what? He's going to give you technically a business plan. He's going to tell you step by step of everything
Yeah.
do, all the marketing, the good SEO, how to find the properties. You fucking write all of that down in a business plan. Boom. So their course is their business plan. That's one. Second thing, you get on a call with them and ask them to give you projections on the business if you were to start using their methods. Right. And if they were like, hey, I would love it if you were to guide me real quick. I'll pay you an extra $100, $200. If you get on an hour with me and you help me fill out this business projection for 2 years, and we just project what is going to be my gross my revenue every single month to month, and how I say slowly scale. What is going to be my operation costs? What is going to be this? What is going to be that? And you take all the expenses and you run that model. Like it's like plug and play, bro. And then as long as you have that, if you have great personal finance, great personal credit score, and like tax returns, go find people with degrees who've been in their field for 3 years, 5 years, making bank, and they want to start a business. Bro, you can get them $150,000 loans, so like up to I think it's $500,000. No, SBA 7A goes up to like 5 million. So I mean, like, we're talking about math, dude. You know what I'm saying?
Big numbers.
And there's different programs. Like there's certain programs that only go up to like $500,000. Like the express loans only go up to $500,000. But here's the beautiful thing: an express loan is basically a 7A loan, just expedited. But guess here's the thing. Here's the thing. You just like how you told me about CAAs.
CAs, yeah.
They expedite the process because they verify documentation. You can work with a bank that is a preferred lender by SBA. That means that they've been authorized by SBA, that they have the correct underwriting criteria and knowledge to underwrite an SBA loan. All other banks are not preferred lenders; they're just general lenders. And they can submit application. When they submit an application, the underwriter at SBA has to go through the entire application. So it takes them weeks to like a month, right? And that's why it's considered that an SBA loan takes a really long time. But if you apply with a preferred lender, they have access to the same portal. But when they submit the application, they get to input all the values, and then all of a sudden it takes 48 hours for an underwriter SBA to just to double check and like, okay, yep, everything looks good, and it gets approved or denied or whatever it happens, right? And then that's it, right? It will take 48 hours to do that.
Wow.
Right. So that's the
How much does it take normally?
Dude, the underwriting weeks. Because first you got to get a documentation.
So it gets cut down to 48.
Dude, you have to collect for a business. So again, generally SBAs is for people who have businesses already and they have multiple years. So you're collecting P&Ls. If you're collecting P&Ls for the last 2 years, like 3 years, you're collecting P&Ls, tax returns for the last 3 years, balance sheets, cash flow statements, debt cycles. Debt schedule is basically they write out every single debt that they have for the business, like every single business credit card. How much do they owe? What is the term rate? What type of collateral there is? I can give you all these sheets, bro. I can give you everything he's given me, the SOPs and everything. And basically, what I want to do for my business credit program, I want to teach people how to underwrite everything.
That'd be fucking awesome.
Because I've never seen anybody in the industry talk about actually learning how to underwrite things.
Because if you know how to do that, you can reverse engineer the process.
So, well, I don't have to reverse engineer the process. The underwriters are telling me the process.
But for them, for somebody learning from you.
Yeah. So here's the thing. It would actually promote people to understand the mentality of how the banks view them, so then they can then start modeling their business. Because generally, at the end of the day, even the people who are like scammers, they're only doing it because they have a lack of awareness on how to actually run a legit business. If they go through the whole credit business program that I want to create, they're going to actually know how to run a legit.
So why don't you not call it a business credit program and then call it something else. Because I feel like if you call it business credit, like a business credit thing, it's gonna fall into that category. And I feel like what you're trying to teach is a little bit different. So then that honestly, I haven't heard anybody teaching it.
Right.
Like, yeah, I feel like if you were to call it something different, you might be able to charge a higher premium for it just because, bro, like you're right. People don't really know how the underwriting on the banks work. They just
Because
think
it's
it's
so
some
taboo.
machine that
The
does it.
banks
But at the
don't
end of
even
the
like
day,
you knowing this.
yeah,
But
yeah,
here's the deal.
exactly.
So this is what I wanna do it first. I first wanna cater to all, like, first I wanna call it business credit program because it's gonna majority fit into that. And but that's why I'm telling you. It's eventually gonna help me translate to acquisitions, to
Yup.
business consultant. So business credit specialist, business consultant,
Uh-huh.
to acquisition specialist.
That's the roadmap. That's the roadmap.
That's the roadmap. So that's where I'm trying to progress. And this on learning the entire underwriting process is heavily going to help me in the funding department in my funding business, but it's also going to help me understand how to genuinely build a successful company, or I how not to build a successful company, but how to audit a company to know whether it's profitable or successful.
Uh-huh.
That's what I'm
With the lens of an underwriter.
right, because they're gonna scrutinize every single thing about your business.
Mhm.
Why? Because that's their job. Like that's
That's
what
their
they're
job. That's
paid
literally
to
their
do,
job, man.
right? So if I understand that and I understand the mentality that they can have, so that's why I'm trying to train I'm trying to have a pre-underwriter for my company to start pre-underwriting everything under the moon. So if you come to me, Edgar, you give me all your business documents, you give me all your personal documents, we take a look, everything on the personal side, we take a look, everything on the business side. And what we're doing is we're having a pre-underwriter and be like, okay, cool. What are you looking for? How much capital are you looking for and for what purpose?
Mhm.
Okay, that way we can determine, is that the correct amount of capital that you actually need, or do you need a little bit less, or do you need a little bit more, right? And then what type of credit product you should be looking for, because everybody believes that, oh, just give me, oh, I need $150,000, give me $150,000 in cash. No,
Mhm.
banks don't usually just do that, right? You need to have a specific product. For example, everybody wants a line of credit. Everybody in the business credit wants a line of credit, but they don't even understand why the line of credit was created, right? For Edgar, okay, Edgar,
Mhm.
what's the main purpose of a line of credit? You know that. What is the actual purpose? Why did the banks
Yeah.
create that product called the line of credit?
So people can keep borrowing money, no?
Well, you can borrow money off a credit card.
Yeah, but most people don't know how to do that.
But I mean, like all credit products, a loan is you borrow money. Yeah, a line of credit, you borrow money. Equipment financing, you borrow money. A mortgage, you borrow. So, for example, if you're going to go invest in the business, you're not going to go apply for a mortgage, right?
Yeah,
That would be the wrong use of a mortgage, because that's not what the product was
the
created
wrong
for.
product for that.
Okay, so what was the specific purpose a line of credit was created for?
Yeah, I wouldn't even know, honestly.
Right? See, that's what I'm saying, and people don't even fucking understand that. So, a line of credit, the purpose of a line of credit was created to help cash flow problems for companies who have
Uh-huh.
an AP log and an AR log. Do you know what those are?
Nah.
Okay, an AR log and an AP log is an accounts receivable and accounts payable. Okay, so for
Okay.
example,
I've heard those terms before. I just don't even know what they mean, honestly.
right? So let's imagine a what are those companies called? I'm blanking out so hard right now. A manufacturing company. So for
Uh-huh.
example, let's say you manufacturing weapons and you have a government contract, right? And you're Lockheed Martin, right? You have a government contract for $1 billion and you're supposed to produce X amount of guns or weapons to the United States military every single month, but you do not so you have to buy the material to to make the equipment. Let's say it takes you a month. Let's say it takes you a month or let's say it takes you 2 weeks to create it. Okay.
Mhm.
And then it takes you 2 weeks when you buy the material, the iron, the plastic, all the raw material. It takes you 2 weeks to create the products, and then it takes you you send it out to the United States government, and then you send them an invoice, and they pay you in 30 days. So that means that you have an accounts receivable of when the AR log, you submitted the invoice in this day, and you're not getting paid until 30 days later. Okay, so here's the thing: what if another government, fucking Britain comes and like, hey, Lockheed Martin, I want $1 billion contract too. I'll pay you $1 billion, right? For X amount. I need X amount of fighter jet planes every per month, and I need you to start producing them. If you are waiting, so let's say you spent all your money on buying the material, you made the airplanes for America, and now you're waiting, sitting there for 30 days, like, well, I have no cash flow. I can't go buy more materials until America pays me. Well, that's a whole huge fucking problem, right?
Yeah.
So that's why the line of credit was created, because they go take a look at your accounts receivable and accounts payable, and they see how long does it take you to get paid from an average from vendors. And so what they're going to do is going to base the line of credit, hey, we're going to give, it looks like you have a cash flow problem of $150,000 because you have all these other contracts that require you to spend money in order to produce. Like, for example, you have an accounts payable. If you don't even realize it, you
the clients are about to pay me.
You spend money. You spend $80 per client that signs up, and you're not going to get paid until 30 days later. So technically, if you were to set it up like a manufacturing company, you would send the client an invoice for the 80 or the whatever money, like the $250, when the due date is in 30 days from now. And so now you have an AR log and an AP log of 30 days. And then so your cost of doing business is the $80. And then they see, okay, how many clients, new clients are you getting per month? So so if we multiply that by how much it costs you, let's say $80, you're getting 10 clients, so you have $800. So we're going to give you a line of credit of $1,000, or that way you can have enough capital cash flow to keep getting new clients, to keep paying for the $800, $80 for the new clients that you're signing up. And then we know that in 30 days you're going to get paid. And that's what the line of credit is for.
And you'll be able to pay them. No.
So if you are able to show that in paper, they're like, all right, multi-million-dollar line of credit here for account receivables and account payables. Now you can, now you won't have that cash flow problem. But people don't even know any of that. Like, they don't know how to set that up, right? And so that's what I'm telling you, bro. Maybe you can do that for credit repair. Maybe if you just set up a AR log and AP log, and actually banks you can take out loans against your accounts receivable. You can use your accounts receivable up to, like, depending on the bank, anywhere from 30% to 50% of the accounts receivable, outstanding accounts receivable, as collateral. So you can use a fucking document as collateral to debt. So for example, so let's say you on typically every 30-day cycle, you have $1 million in accounts receivables owed to you.
Some banks will loan you 30% of that.
That is value. That holds value. Your AR log holds value because people owe you money. So it's debt. So you're taking debt, you're using debt as collateral for more debt.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Well, Eddie, I think we're gonna leave it off on that because I'm exhausted right now.
Yeah, I know, bro. This was amazing, bro. When are you free again, man?
No, let me look at my schedule real quick.
By the way, I'm gonna be ending this podcast now, you guys. Thank you so much for joining. I have 2 requests for you guys. I do this for free, you guys. I don't monetize this shit right now, especially I'm still starting on YouTube, podcasts, and everything. We do this. I don't get, fucking companies to sponsor me. All I ask is for you guys to leave a like and subscribe to the channel, because it promotes me and helps my services get out there. So if you guys found value in this podcast, please go ahead and do that. Second of all, please go follow Edgar at, you can click here now, right? You can click here. What is it called?
Can you click here? Instagram, can you click here?
Instagram handle, can you click here? Go ahead and follow on Instagram. He is a beast, man. I'm jealous. He is miles ahead on me on the credit repair side, and he's only been doing it for 10 months. So go ahead and follow him. He posts value every single day. So appreciate you guys. Thank you for listening. If you listened this far, we'll see you next time.